It's a rivalry game in Mount Pleasant. CMU looking to continue their success from last weekend. Face off against a revamped Saginaw Valley State team that's making waves in the MCHC. It's the Central Michigan Chippewas and the Saginaw Valley State Cardinals. Hello everybody and welcome ringside on this late Friday evening. I'm Devin Sarah alongside my partner Reagan Cleaves here from Martin Ice Arena. Reagan, these two teams sit at 2 wins apiece in division play, tied for second in the MCHC East officially. This is a massive matchup for multiple reasons, one of those being the fact that Saginaw Valley State has beaten some tough opponents.
Indeed they have. They've taken down the reigning national champions in Hope. They sit 8-2 on the campaign. Their only other loss coming to another national championship contender from last season, Florida Gulf Coast. This is a very, very good Saginaw Valley team. And talking to their coach, Brendan Ryan, before the contest here today, their loss against Hope, their 7-1 loss, was a 6-mistake game, and Hope capitalized on all of them. They dominated in that hockey game, and that'll show they're a really tough team.
We'll talk about that and much more coming up in the pregame show presented by CMHIceHockey.com. But looking around from last weekend, Reagan, CMU coming off of a awesome weekend against University of Michigan Flint, in which they bounced back after dropping 4 straight, and they were able to beat the Flint Wolverines in dramatic fashion. Overtime, the first game 6-5 and 8-2 here on home ice.
Indeed, and that catapulted them from dead last in the MCHC East, having not played a game coming into that, and now they are deadlocked in second with these same Saginaw Valley State Cardinals. Both teams are 2-0. They sit behind the 3-0-1. 3-0-1 Lawrence Tech Blue Devils with 7 points. Michigan Flint and Michigan deadlocked for fourth at 1 point apiece, and then Oakland and Adrian haven't won a game in division. So CMU and Saginaw Valley battling for outright possession of second place in the MCHC East here tonight.
Taking a look at our out-of-town scoreboards, this is the only interdivision matchup in the MCHC East tonight. Ferris State and Oakland are in action tonight from 8:15 Eastern. That's taking place at Oakland University. Adrian and Grand Valley State in action. Grand Valley State coming off the upset against Ferris State, upset by Ferris State, 5-2 that game. That was a bit of a surprise, Reagan, especially since Ferris State has played some very good teams close, notably Notre Dame.
Indeed, Ferris State got a similar situation to CMU actually in their series against Notre Dame down at Compton Family Ice Arena. They came into South Bend, got blown out in game 1, but they managed to come back and come within 1 goal of the Fighting Irish in game 2, much like CMU, who ended up losing to the Fighting Irish in overtime after a comeback. And for CMU, they can take some heart in that. This year, if anything has shown anything, with Saginaw Valley State beating Hope and Grant Valley losing to Ferris, it's an anybody can beat anybody league this year.
Only other game we have to report, Hope College at 10-1 against Michigan State, struggling 2-7-1 on the year. 7 p.m. from Michigan State. I believe they're playing in Mount Arena tonight. How about that? A fun entertainment for them.
Yeah.
Always good to go out to the Mount Ice Arena, even though the Division III team normally doesn't play there, as they play at Suburban Ice. So Hope College and MSU. Reagan, taking a look at a closer look at two teams today. CMU at 7 wins, 3 losses, 1 overtime loss, 15 points, 2-0 in division play after that great University of Michigan Flint weekend. We talked about the bounce back after losing 4 straight, but this year, CMU, at this point last year, their only loss was to these exact Saginaw Valley State Cardinals in a 1-0 rout here at home.
Exactly, and at this point last season, CMU hadn't played as many games. They came in, I believe, at 6-0 to this series against Saginaw Valley State, and they played one of the best hockey games we saw all season last year at the game here at Martin. It was a 1-0 Saginaw Valley win. Brandon Marshall, who transferred to CMU over the summer, ended up scoring the only goal. Thomas Rove and Jacob Winters both played phenomenal in that contest. It was a goaltending duel throughout.
On the other side of the ice, Saginaw Valley State at 8 wins and 2 losses. They're coming off split in series with Hope College and Florida Gulf Coast. That one being down in Estero in a 4-2 win and then a 6-5 loss. And then they have sweeps over Ferris State, Oakland, and MSU. So a pretty tame schedule to start the season, excluding that Hope game in which they lost 7-1 and then bounced back, beating the Dutchman. As we've mentioned so many times in this broadcast, for the first time in a year and a half, the Dutchman losing in a regular season game. So Saginaw Valley has a lot of momentum coming into this weekend, albeit after a 6-5 loss down in Estero 2 weeks ago. Now looking at the series history, Reagan, since the COVID break, CMU leads this with 2 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. That coming against these Cardinals on their ice last year from Saginaw Bay Ice Arena, and CMU leads the series 10 wins, 7 losses, and 2 ties overall.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, last season was an anomaly for Central Michigan. That was the only time they hadn't beat Saginaw Valley in a season series since all the way back in 2013-14, their first year as a team. They had tied, they had lost, they have lost to Saginaw before, but they've always been able to bounce back with a win. Last year they were able to salvage a point in a miraculous comeback at Saginaw Bay Ice Arena last season, and it was a bit of an anomaly for CMU, but they bounced back after that loss, and we'll see. We hope they can do a little bit better here this season.
Chips lost 1-0 on home ice last season, then came back the other night to tie 4-4, which, by the way, was a miraculous third-period comeback, and we'll talk about that throughout the broadcast. What you got from your perspective during that game, as we mentioned, did not beat Saginaw Valley State last time. The only time that's happened was since the first season. Looking at our scratches here tonight for Central Michigan, notably Brandon Clements, the star freshman defenseman, will not be in the lineup tonight. He will be expected to return tomorrow when CMU travels to Saginaw to play there. SVSU has a couple of scratches to report tonight. Number 13, Trey Morgan, 16, Garrett Sawyer, 18, Nick Broski, and 55, Ethan Schneider. Taking a look now at our players to watch, Reagan, on CMU side. Isaac Gibbs coming off 2 goals against Saginaw Valley last season. He scored a single-handed Zegras last week at University of Michigan Flint. An absolute highlight reel goal. SportsCenter top 10. He is on fire right now, and he's on a top 6 scoring forward group that really he's the lead of.
Yeah, he has been absolutely phenomenal. He started extremely hot with, I believe, 6 goals in the first 3 games, averaging 2 points per game. He was unable to make the first Cleary game, and then since then he's kind of cooled off and allowed Andrew Porzondek to come up through the ranks and surpass him in goals, but that doesn't mean that Isaac Gibbs is any less hot than he was before. He's been absolutely phenomenal this season for CMU.
Our other player to watch is the netminder Lauren Jones, officially in the lineup tonight. We were kind of scratchy whether it be him or Elijah. He gets the start in this first game. He's coming off a big save last weekend. He kept CMU in the game the later stages of that U of M Flint game number 1, in which they won 6-5 in overtime. So for Lauren Jones tonight, this is probably his biggest test this year.
Exactly, and not only for Lauren Jones, who did play phenomenally last year, this is also the biggest test for Central Michigan. They're playing they played a Florida Gulf Coast team and a Notre Dame team earlier this season that contributed to a 4-game skid, but this Saginaw Valley State team, this not only has implications on the national rankings, but also in the division and the standings going forward. But as for Lauren Jones, you're right. He played phenomenal last game against Michigan Flint, making a couple of game-saving stops in the final 5 minutes and in overtime in that one. He was what kept that team in it. He allowed CMU to gather some momentum, and that's what helped them win last weekend. Looking
on the flip side now, the number 15th ranked Saginaw Valley State Cardinals, their player to watch is number 71, Logan O'Flanagan, leading the team in points by 10, has on a 3-game point streak and points in 9 of his last 10. He is going to be the key to this forecheck.
Indeed, he has been a very big factor in this Saginaw Valley State team. That top line with O'Flanagan at the middle, they have been absolutely phenomenal, contributing in a ton of goals. It's why Flanagan has 11 assists to go along with his 10 goals. They have been absolutely phenomenal to start this season.
Taking a look now, the second player to watch, the other goaltender, Peter Mihal, officially 6 games this year, 5 wins, 1 loss. He saved 43 of 45 shots in the 4-2 win over Florida Gulf Coast. Boy, as a freshman, those are impressive numbers. And obviously, Elijah Jones being a freshman as well on CMU side. Look, that's impressive. No matter way you look at it, they're going to have a test here if they want to get it past him.
Exactly. And Mihal came in second semester of last season for Saginaw Valley State. Played I believe he played about a period of hockey last season. Didn't get much action, but this year he's had a phenomenal start. Like you said, 5-1 on the campaign. His only loss coming in that Hope game where it was those 6 mistakes that cost Saginaw Valley.
Take a look, switching gears to our keys to the game tonight, presented once again by CMHIceHockey.com. Reagan, the face-offs must break out in this game. They have struggled with this the first half of this season. We've talked about it numerous times. That series against U of M Flint, face-offs almost cost them in that first one. It has to be better tonight.
Indeed. It's something they've struggled all year, especially with the departure of Joey Simon-Silly at the end of last campaign. And it's been something that Central Michigan has struggled with. And, I remember last year seeing Dalton Sutherland work on face-offs with guys. it's something that you need to hammer in. Yes, it's a fundamental of hockey, but that's why you need to work on it. And for CMU, that's just got to get better if they want to compete against these tough teams.
Our second key to the game is limit the mistakes, especially at center ice. We see a lot of missed passes against those good teams, Notre Dame, in which they got routed 11-4, and that Florida Gulf Coast game where they just looked like they flat out got outplayed. So the point is tonight they have to limit those mistakes or they're going to capitalize because they've got some goal scorers on that team that will take the puck up quick and they will shoot it at will.
Indeed. And CMU, that's something they've struggled is to limit those mistakes. It's been mistake hockey here and there for CMU, especially against Notre Dame and Florida Gulf Coast and Ferris State. Those good teams that beat them in that 4-game skid for CMU. It's you got to cut those down, and for CMU, it's keep play clean through the neutral zone. You got to be able to get it up and stop it at your blue line.
But you can continue to your point. They have to play a full 60 minutes tonight. They cannot play 2.5 periods like we saw during that 4-game skid. They have to play until the end. And really, I think it starts with a fast start. We're going to see if this Chippewa team is able to overcome those mistakes and get out of here, hopefully, with another win tonight. Here now by looking at our goaltenders starting lineups after puck drop. We'll step aside as they cut the ice. We're going to have a ceremonial puck drop with a little bit of more delay here. It is Happy Veterans Day on wherever you're watching across the United States and North America. And so that will be part of our broadcast portion of this pregame show. But stay tuned as puck drop is next for Game 1 of this weekend series between Central Michigan and the number 15th ranked Saginaw Valley State Cardinals. Devin, Sarah, Reagan, please stay with us. You're watching Central Michigan Hockey here on CCHN.
Taking a look at your starting goaltenders presented by Optimex Sports. For the Saginaw Valley State Cardinals, they send out Peter Mihal, who through 6 games is 5-1 with goals against of .296 and a save percentage of .920. For Central Michigan, they go to Lauren Jones, who is 4-3 through 7 games, goals against average of .365 and a save percentage of an even .900.
Thanks, Reagan. Starting lineups once again presented by Optimex Sports on Saginaw Valley's side. Number 71, Logan of Flanagan. Number 25, Karen Carlisle. And number 20, Kyle Kubiak at the defensive positions. Forward position, number 68, Matt McClellan. On defense, Kyle Kubiak they will send out along with Tyler Russell. And as mentioned, starting in net, Peter Mihal. 20 minutes on the clock. Central Michigan right to left in their new and improved white uniforms with the Central Michigan lettering on the front. And boy, are they a beauty, folks. We'll get some good looks at them throughout this game for you with the maroon lids on top. On Saginaw Valley State side, they also got some beauty sweaters. The blue, navy blue, red, and red helmet trim, Saginaw Valley State with their lettering on the chest as well. 20 minutes, face-off, puck drop next from Martin Ice Arena as we get underway. Initial draw won by the Chips, Braden Keel, and it comes back out to center. Now to CMU's own zone, Lauren Jones, the junior goaltender from Fenton, Michigan, with 4 wins and 3 losses on the season, will play it out to his winger, Isaac Gibbs. Here comes the sophomore from Novi, Michigan, trying to make stuff happen in front as the goaltender, Peter Mihal, was down on his knees trying to collect that puck, and Gibbs moved in quickly to swoop it away and negate the stop. 19-25 already gone in this first period. Devin Sarah and Reagan Cleaves rinkside from Martin Ice Arena for this 2-game weekend series between the number 15 Saginaw Valley State Cardinals and your Central Michigan Chippewas. Right now not in second place in the MCHC East. Winner of this would take sole possession behind Lawrence Tech, currently in the top with 7 points.
Central Michigan coming off of a pretty darn good weekend last weekend with the overtime win against Michigan Flint and the 8-2 win here at Martin last Saturday. Saginaw Valley State having beaten 2 juggernauts of the ACHA D3 with Hope and Florida Gulf Coast falling to the Cardinals.
Here comes Saginaw Valley State in transition. Cameron Barlas goes wide with the puck, lost it on his spade initially, and it came out to the near side half wall where it was collected by number 10, Keelan Baker. Now lost initially, turned over by the Chips in their own zone. They get it out. Keelan Baker whacks it to the near side. It'll be left there for Bruce McLean. Sends it off to his winger, Jacob Martin, and into the glove side of Lauren Jones for the first initial stop for CMU of this hockey game.
Yeah, good pressure on either side by both these two clubs. Central Michigan getting their fair share of chances on Mihal early, and Saginaw Valley State with some early zone time to pressure Lauren Jones.
First initial face-off won by the Chippewas. We mentioned the pregame show. They struggled with that. They turned the puck over now officially at the blue line to Bruce McLean. The defenseman for Saginaw Valley State, the senior from Waterford, collects it. Now it's played out down low at the end boards. CB regains possession. It's Austin Ritter. The senior from Alpena, Michigan, moving up the wing with it. Sent it off there for number 37, Julian Johnson, the transfer from Adrian's Division II team last season. And CME will begin their first initial forecheck. Now they turn the puck over again. Back and forth play to start this first 2.5 minutes. And now McLean will collect it at his own end and get it up to his winger there, Hunter Windy for Saginaw. They play it out at center ice. Big, hard check there by Ben Rychuk, the first initial hit of this game.
Ben Rychuk, a physical presence that Central Michigan missed in that Notre Dame series, made his return last week into the lineup, and he's been a much-needed presence for CMU.
Rychuk scored his first goal of the season last week against Michigan Flint in that 8-2 rout at home. He's known for his physicality and uncanny ability to get inside the opponent's head, Reagan, and frustrate them. And it's something CMU's going to need in this game if they want to knock the Cardinals off their game. Coming into tonight, 8 wins, 2 losses on the season, one of their best starts in program history. And we talked about it. They've got some huge wins over Florida Gulf Coast, and not to mention the Hope Flying Dutchmen, the 2-time reigning national champions. Handed them their first regular season loss in over a year and a half, at least in the regular season. And, you talk about a team at the MCHC level now that's looking to contend for that title in the Vesna Cup. Well, Saginaw Valley State's looking like they're going to have to be one of those teams these MCHC foes want to go through if they want to collect it.
Exactly. They're Their matchup last year, as it is usually the case, was a matchup with early season MCHC division implications.
Whoa, a shot from the blue line off the top of the crossbar. Holy moly, Lauren Jones probably wishes he had that one back. He thought it was in for a moment, and it wasn't. But holy, a chance from the blue line nearly goes in for Saginaw over these first 4 minutes.
That's a situation where Lauren Jones owes that post a steak dinner. That's a 1-goal game, 4 minutes in if that post is any higher. Oh, big hit across the way.
Good turnover from Connor Morgan, sent up the wing to Andrew Porzonek, the leading scorer for the Chippewas with 11 goals, 9 assists, and 20 points, almost averaging 2.5 points per game. And look out, he tried to send one in front and was knocked off the puck swiftly. A shot there from the right circle by Connor Morgan off the pad and up and out of play. So the first 5.5 minutes gone, Reagan, and look, it's been a little bit of physical, and boy, that dangerous chance there just set the tone.
Indeed, Central Michigan getting a good couple of physical chances in the offensive end here. Connor Morgan throwing his weight around in the offensive end, creating chaos in the Saginaw Valley end, and it's been a good start for CMU here through this first 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Face-off won by the Cardinals. Logan O'Flanagan, their leading scorer, by over 10 points, and he lost the puck initially and turned it over and allowed CMU to go to work. Now in the Saginaw Valley zone, they tie up with the near side boards. Jay Nadeau's in there fighting for it. O'Flanagan gets it up to his winger over there, Brendan Dickinson. Dickinson and O'Flanagan played together at Port Huron Northern High and mounted for top 3 in scoring 2 of their 3 years together at that high school. And you ask Elijah Jones, the goaltender, about them. He said they are swift, have an uncanny ability to finish the plays, and boy, oh boy, can they ever set up the plays as well. Now CMU trying to get it out of their own zone swiftly. Isaac Gibbs sends it up the near side. Jay Nadeau has a puck on a 1-on-3, and he turned it over to Bruce McLean, who gets it over there to Hunter Windy, his D partner.
Nadeau really didn't have the puck in that instance. He kind of knocked the puck away, but it was lost in his skates, and he overskated it, and that would have been a good opportunity. But good job for him, though, to realize that he overskated the puck and knocked that puck away from the Cardinals at neutral ice.
And you talk about limiting the mistakes, Reagan. They pounce on every opportunity they get. And all but 2 games this season, Saginaw has eclipsed 3 goals in a hockey game, and they've eclipsed 4 and 5 in about 4 of those contests. So this is a Saginaw Valley State team that can score on you at will if they so get the chance. And CMU has to limit every single mistake they get, especially at the neutral zone, if they want to win this one. Good shot attempt there from Charlie Hayes in the left circle. He put that one right into the glove side of Mihal to give him his best save of the hockey game so far.
Charlie Hayes looking for his 6th on the campaign. He eclipsed 50 career goals in the American Collegiate Hockey Association last weekend in that Saturday matchup against U of M Flint here at Martin Ice Arena with 2 assists. Congratulations to him. That's a pretty darn good milestone to reach 50 points as a defenseman.
Yeah, and for being a first-year captain, replacing the ever-so-elder Brendan Martin, who was here for 6+ years, really a club hockey legend if you talk about some. And Charlie has, on his own right, been that leader. Now here come quick in transition on the breakout. Saginaw Valley State, good move to center. A shot from a near side, and Lauren Jones got a piece of that, I believe, as they were streaking in from number 15, or number 15's 15, Spencer Pickett.
That's a good job by Charlie Hayes on the defensive end for CMU to force Thomas to the outside and Sawyer to the outside and force them to get a sharp angle shot off on Lauren Jones, one that's generally easier to save.
It allowed CMU to come back the other way where it's collected here by the first-year defenseman Sam Camara from Lake St. Mary's High School. Now in the far side corner, collected by Ben Rydchuk, as we mentioned, scored his first goal of the season last weekend against U of M Flint in that 8-2 win. Keelan Baker, a shot from a sharp angle. That one's easily gloved by Mihal to get the stop, and it'll bring another face-off.
You know what, Baker has a little bit more time at the point there than he thinks. He kind of just lets that shot go and throws it on goal. Maybe he could have hesitated a little bit, stepped around the forecheck, and maybe gotten a clearer and harder shot off there on Mihal. 13:40 to go in period 1.
Julian Johnson to dig in and a great face-off win. There he was, Sam Camara to get a shot on net. Oh boy, I thought that hit a body in front and was going to go glove side past Mihal, but he saw it the whole way for a nice stop once again.
Good reaction save there by the Saginaw Valley netminder. That hit Matthew McClellan out in front. Almost took a deflection. Oh, good shot there by Camara.
Another good shot and a good save there by Mihal. The freshman goaltender from Berkeley, Michigan, spent last season with the Ontario Junior reign of the United States Premier Hockey League and the Premier Association, which is the top level of that league, along with the elite side, and he's allowed no more than 3 goals in all but 1 game through his 6 starts this season. As we mentioned in the pregame show, saved 43 of 45 in the 4-2 win over Florida Gulf Coast a couple weeks ago, and that's a shot. Backhanded, still loose in front. Saginaw jamming away at it, and they just try to get it on net, and it's finally attempted clear out by Julian Johnson, and now gets it up to Baker, who will, or did he, got it to the blue line.
Great couple of saves there by Lauren Jones to knock the puck away after Central Michigan failed to clear the zone.
On the other side, Lauren Jones, the junior goaltender from Fenton, as it's turned over by Saginaw here with a chance. Right stick save there. It looked like it streaked wide. Jones from Fenton, Michigan, as we mentioned, 4 wins, 3 losses on the year. Has faced 40-plus shots in each of his past 2 games. And he talked about playing in the MCHC. Coach and his GM, Jason McCrimmon, said he's a hard-working, very coachable goaltender who likes to move around a lot, being a smaller body, sitting at 5'9".
Great save there by Lauren Jones, is trying to feed the puck on the far side was number 25, Carlisle. Jones stuck out the right pad and stayed with them all the way.
And he's busy so far. Saginaw bringing on the pressure here in the latest 2.5 minutes, and that one's sent to the glove side for another nice stop. And you talked about Reagan, how this Saginaw team loves to take shots on goaltenders. They've outshot their opponents in 6 of their last 8 games, and I know that stat for a fact because I was looking at the depth charts and thinking, how does this team shoot 40-plus every single game? Well, they will shoot from anywhere at any time.
Exactly, and we've seen it here in this first couple of minutes, and there's a shot from the point, again, through traffic that they take, and they'll take it because they want bodies out in front to knock that puck and maybe get a crazy hop.
McLean tried to take another shot on net. That one was deflected wide and redirected back to center ice where he has to reset. Pursued in by Isaac Gibbs. Bruce McLean, the defensive senior from Waterford, Michigan. His 2 assists on the year. His only one against Purdue, Oakland, and Triner. I correct myself. 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points. And this defensive core unit has been busy at work in their own zone. Now, moving up the wing with it, here comes Brendan Dickinson. Dickinson on net, top 3 in scoring on the team. Sends it in front there, nobody home, and Isaac Gibbs the one to take it at the near side. Now, over the blue line. He'll cut it out to center and streak at Bay. Now, moving over the wing, he's got Andrew Siraki, the freshman, met up with him. Streaks to the middle, gets past 1 defender, now 2. Has to redirect it at his own corner. Now it's tied up with 3 different Saginaw defenders. Hayes sends a puck on net that's easily blocked in front. It allows the Cardinals to clear it out for their first clear attempt.
Good shift there by Andrew Siraki, getting the puck into the offensive end and pinning it up against the board, forcing Saginaw Valley to work for those pucks in the defensive end.
Here's Hayden Flynn, the senior forward. He only plays on the 4th line out there with Andrew Porzanik, the leading scorer. Gets it to a backhand attempt and sent that one wide glove side. And Porzanik, a player now that has 2 hat tricks on the season, has had a phenomenal last couple of weeks. Has the best forward for this team and sent that one near side wide.
Not only does he have 2 hat tricks on the season, those 2 hat tricks have come in the last 3 games for Andrew Porzanik. He got a hat trick along with 2 assists in the overtime loss to Notre Dame, as this one is going to go down the ice for icing, and he had one last weekend against Michigan Flint. Fans, don't forget that the CMU Club Hockey Network YouTube channel is your one-stop shop for highlights, exclusive interviews, and full game broadcasts for men's D3 and women's D2 hockey. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so as never to miss a moment of Chippewa hockey. Just go to YouTube and search CMU Club Hockey Network to find the channel.
Saginaw Valley State head coached by Brendan Ryan, as well as being the general manager. Assistant coach Brandon Ort and the athletic trainer Kaylee Coons. And we were catching up with Brendan a little bit ago ahead of this broadcast, Reagan. They actually run their own sort of broadcast over at the Saginaw Valley side, mostly live streams consisting of live game action, no replays. But they've done a pretty solid job building up their broadcast there. And Ryan, the head coach himself, having a background in graphic design, does all the work and has done a pretty solid job with it, I'd say.
Yeah, especially over the last 2 years, they've done a really good job building that program's social media presence, and they've been getting noticed by the Hockey House pod as of late.
And this one, Reagan, a Hockey House game to watch once again. The last time CMU had that notch this week, or in this season, was against Notre Dame, and we all know how that one ended up with the sweep against them. So we'll see if their luck changes on the Hockey House side, but nonetheless, this one being a game to watch because of the stakes. Interdivision game, a ranked national team that's looking to once again head to nationals. Saginaw went into nationals last season, ranked at 15 where they are now. And boy, we talked about how the rankings came out last week for men's Division III, and they were kind of a mess, Reagan, all over the place with teams in the Northeast getting notches in the top 5. Hope College at number 5, although being the reigning national champions was a little odd. And I think Saginaw is better than the 15th ranking they got.
And I really think that the biggest disappointment of that first ranking wasn't necessarily that Saginaw Valley State was at 15 or Hope was at 5. It was the fact that Notre Dame didn't even crack the top 10.
Very, very strange.
And they were 10-1 at the time of those posting rankings. They are a much better team than those ACHA rankings may first tell you.
And obviously, with not much data being on the season, teams kind of at different points in their year. Some with 5 games played, some 10, some 15 plus. It's kind of all over the place as far as the raw data goes. So understandable those first rankings could be a little weird, and maybe we'll see out next week when the second rankings come out if it sorts itself out a little more. Now this one from the near side scooped up by Mihal as Andrew Siraki and number 10, Hunter Windy, talked behind the net. And one more thing to mention about this 15th ranked team is Reagan. They've had those wins against teams that were nationally ranked in the top 10 last year. Looking at Florida Gulf Coast, obviously that Hope win should automatically put them in the top 5. You think about just from an eye glance, but the rankings done coming, so for them, they probably got a chip on their shoulder for that. Now here they come out in the breakout quickly is the grad student Tyler Russell up the wing on a 1-on-3 attempt, trying to go past Borzanic, and he easily defended that one off. Can't find the puck under his wickets, however. It allows Russell to lay the body and force him to transition it the other way, cross ice. Now in the corner, they fight for it. CMU down low, 8:09 to go in this first period. Devin Sarah, Reagan Cleaves joined from Martin Ice Arena for the first of this 2-game weekend series. Saginaw Valley and Central Michigan. Now here's a chance for Saginaw. Set a puck in front. It's still loose, and Russell tried to get that one off from a centering feed from Kearon Carlisle. He just didn't get enough smoke on it to get it up there for a good shot attempt.
Yeah, Saginaw Valley has had a couple of good opportunities in the offensive end here as of late, 7:56 to go in the first period. That's something they do really well, generating chances. And like we said in the pregame, they dominated that game against Hope. It was just 6 separate mistakes that cost them, and Hope, being such a good team, capitalized on every single one of them en route to a 7-1 win.
Saginaw would come back that next night, however, and as we mentioned so many times, beat Hope 5-3 on their home ice in front of a packed Saginaw Bay Ice Arena crowd. And boy, folks, we hope you tune in tomorrow because it will be an electric atmosphere from that side. Saginaw arguably has some of the best fans in all of ACHA. And I would say this one, not only being a game to watch for the teams, but just for that atmosphere alone, is going to be one you'll want to tune in for.
It was a phenomenal atmosphere last year, Devin, when I went down there as part of that road trip, and that was with football homecoming. I can't imagine what it's going to be tomorrow when everybody's going to be there.
Lots of physicality at center on the near side boards. Keelan Baker took a player down. That shot sent wide, collected behind the net by Ben Rychuk. And boy, streaking in there was Cameron Barlas, number 70, trying to get some, and we're going to get a whistle coming up here.
Puck goes up and out of play, Devin, and you know what? It's been a really fast-moving opening 13 minutes here from Martin Ice Arena. So we've already got 7:09 to go here in period 1. Both teams keeping the puck alive, both goaltenders not being able to stop the puck as much. A lot of quick shots, a lot of shots that may not be easily corralled by the netminders.
CMU doing a good job blocking shots in front. They've had that first and second line kind of working out there as a unit. So you mentioned Brandon Clements, the freshman defenseman, out for this game. So they've kind of had to shuffle the lines around. You're running 2.5 to 3 lines on that shortened bench, as that one's going to get stopped at the blue line. Reagan.
Penalty coming up
on
Central Michigan.
CMU.
Baker's going to go off.
Yep. Keelan Baker going to the box for the first power play coming up for Saginaw in this hockey game. At officially 6:50 left to go in the first period of action. Devin Sarah, Reagan Cleave from Martin Ice Arena. Saginaw poising themselves in their own end as they will head to their initial power play. CMU's penalty kill has been one of the best in all of ACHA, 8th officially in the nation, and sitting at a pretty good percentile, Reagan, 87.72. They've only allowed 7 all year.
They've fallen off a little bit as of late. 5 goals in the last 4 games, 2 goals apiece in that series to Notre Dame, but that's been one of their strong suits all year. But You talk about strong suits. Saginaw Valley's strong suit has been on the power play.
Loose puck in front was deflected wide to the corner. Behind the net, Isaac Gibbs fighting out there on that first initial penalty group. Christopher Martin, the other assistant captain, along with Ben Rydchuk working in deep there. He'll get this one free to his blade, and he'll have a clearing attempt. Wasn't strong enough. Carlisle got it back at the top of the right circle, sent it across there for Logan O'Flanagan. The leading scorer will send it back up top for Kyle Kubiak. Kubiak, the senior, sends one on net. Off the end boards, it was well wide, and Christopher Martin was able to find it and send it the length of the ice for the clear attempt. 1 minute left in their power play.
You know, that's a great shot there by Kubiak. He's looking for the direction out in front by Aaron Shaheen, and he gets it. It just goes wide, so Central Michigan's got to watch that man out in front and make sure he doesn't get lost in coverage.
Good poke check there by Siraki on Kubiak. He got it back to the corner, however, centering feed, and look at Siraki once again making two crucial defensive plays right there. The first time on Kubiak to knock him off the puck, and the second to negate that centering feed. Now, Saginaw working into the zone. Lauren Jones is easily going to stop this one after it goes off Garrett Leeser's skate. So 35 seconds left. Once again, CMU doing what they've done all season so far, keeping things to the outside, Reagan, negating the centering feeds, not allowing time and space for that Saginaw power play to work.
Indeed. They've been getting a couple of good opportunities. Oh, right off the face.
Oh, Leeser takes down Nathan Bottles, and no call on the play as he got up swiftly. Now they'll work with it on the near side. Brendan Baker's here, working against Sam Camara, the defensive. Center feed back in front. Nice initial stop by Jones. Has to redirect himself in the corner as Saginaw continues their work. Up top now, Jacob Martin sends it across there for Barlass. Sent that one out wide off a skate. They continue to work. 7 seconds left. Keelan Baker will come out of the box in 5. Saginaw trying to get one more shot attempt on net. Lauren Jones scoops that one up. No rebound that time as Garrett Leeser was trying to work down low. And with 1 second left, Keelan Baker will come out of the box. And barring an initial face-off draw with a quick shot will negate their first power play of the game.
Yeah, good penalty kill there by Central Michigan and good rebound control there by Lauren Jones. It's something he struggled with in the early half of the season is keeping those rebounds close to him, corralling it, but he's done a really good job, at least through the first 15 minutes and 9 seconds of this one. As Baker hops out of the box, we're back to 5-on-5.
So Lauren Jones had a fantastic outing against University of Michigan Flint in the third period. Notably, he came up with 3 game-saving plays, Reagan, that arguably, if it wasn't for him, would have been looking like a 7-8 goal route for U of M Flint. It wasn't the case. It allowed them to get it to overtime where Sam Camara, from an amazing feed from Keelan Baker, got the win in that one. And they needed that win after we mentioned the 4-game skid that was the late stages of October. Now Saginaw working through center. Here is up the wing, Kyler Russell. Russell got a centering feed in front, off the blocker. Nice save there. That was Spencer Pickett with a shot right from point-blank range in the slot. Long stretch pass there for Ben Rydchuk. He got it there from Hayden Flynn. Good work from the fourth liner to get it in. It allows Rydchuk to kill time while he gets fresh bodies on the ice. Working at the end boards.
Great work by Rydchuk in the offensive end here.
Jay Nadu coming in to pursue help. He's got a centering feed. Wide open lane for Siraki. Deeks one defender. Backhand shot. They score! Off the body of Rydchuk. It looked like it could have. What a move by the freshman Siraki to put the Chips up on top. 1-0.
What a goal there for Central Michigan. A hard-working shift there for Ben Rydchuk, keeping the puck pinned up behind the net, and it was eventually worked free out in front. Siraki on the backhand. He puts it off. Rydchuk in front, and CMU strikes first here against Saginaw Valley State.
That goal coming with 3:53 left to go in the first period by Andrew Siraki, the freshman from Northville, Michigan, scoring his second of the year. He had 2 assists in that game 1 against Notre Dame and went on kind of a cold streak. But that freshman is sneakily good when he wants to be. And boy, he'll tell you about, look out. Central Michigan, Braden Keel lost a tire right there in his own end. You know, we talked about how he moved back to defense in the early part of the year. For Braden Keel, he's a turnover for Gibbs. As boy, he fought off the puck there from Saginaw. Good jump in the last minute and a half from CMU as they are working hard in the offensive zone. He replaced the injured Braden Keel at defense, Reagan. He's been phenomenal on both sides, being a two-way forward.
Yeah, and that play on the offensive end there by Isaac Gibbs is a phenomenal forecheck there for CMU, working that puck free just inside the blue line and going in and making a phenomenal, and coming back was Windy. He made a good save, or came back defensively there for CMU, pardon, for Saginaw Valley State, and made a good back check to make up for his teammate's mistake.
So we'll officially wait on the goal call. I mentioned it looked like it was deflected in front from Ben Rychuk, and that's important because both of those players had one goal coming into tonight, and whoever notches that beats the other in that goal total. And a phenomenal effort, really, from Isaac Gibbs, who worked in hard and turned the puck over, and then Siraki cleaned up the loose change and made a nice move to deke one defender. So that puts CMU on top 1-0 in this first period from Martin Ice Arena, Devin Sarah and Reagan Cleaves.
You know what, it was almost 1-1 as Lesser was right on the back door, but a good job by Camara to force the saucer pass that ended up skipping over his stick.
Christopher Martin dumps the puck in way deep from center ice, gained the red line, so no icing. It comes back to the blue line where Camara tries to collect it, and now Garrett Lisar moves it out. He was helped out there by Bruce McLean, who gets back to the bench for a change, and that allows them CMU to reset in their own end, and boy, they've looked good last 5.5 minutes, Reagan. They look like the team with more hop in their step, as that one's going to be called now for the icing and come back the other way.
CMU certainly looking like the team that has the more pep in their step. They've been, especially since that goal, they've been pressuring more. They've been on the offensive end more. It's just been good all-around hockey from CMU through this first period.
Near side face-off draw. Stay tuned, folks. I'll have the first intermission report presented by SandwichIceHockey.com coming up for you in the break, where we'll talk about Angie Siraki's goal, along with the strong penalty kill initial effort by CMU, as well as their play at center ice, limiting the mistakes. And right now, knotted at 1-0 after Angie Siraki's second goal of the year, puts them in a 1-0 nod with 2:03 to play in this first period. Charlie Hayes in his own end flips the puck to the far side boards, met up there by Matt McClellan, the senior defenseman from Grand Blanc, Michigan. Gets it back out to center there. McClellan with 2 assists on the year. Played 9 games for Honeybank's 18-under AA team in 18 and 19. And last year with 3 goals, 3 assists on the year. Pretty solid player in the defensive back check there for Saginaw Valley. Officially listed as a forward, but seeing him play at the blue line. Now, here's CMU the other way. Keelan Baker dumps a puck into the near side corner. It's met up there by Saginaw's Benjamin Wellnitz, a defenseman from Freeland. But he'll clear it out to center.
That's a good intercept by Keelan Baker at the neutral zone to force that turnover and force Saginaw to regroup.
Lots of turnovers from Saginaw these last 2 minutes, Reagan. They kind of looked like they got off that consistent forecheck and breakout they got going early in that period. And it was helped out by Lauren Jones, who's had to come up big the first portion of this period. And once again, a good glove save there on the stop after the initial shot attempt by Tyler Russell, the grad student. Now they fight for it in the CMU zone. 54 seconds to play in this first period. Bruce McLean gets it back up at the blue line. He'll send it out in front, and a nice takeaway there by Isaac Gibbs to get it out to center. Tried to flip the puck to Jay Nadeau and didn't get enough sauce on it. And now Brandon Shaheen will move in to the offensive zone with it. Shaheen turned the puck over, a little back and forth play, and that one goes up into the netting moorings of Martin Ice Arena for the stop. 37 seconds left to go. CMU, as we mentioned, Reagan, good defensively. They've been blocking shots, interrupting the passing lanes, and Lauren Jones, I just talked about, has come up big. He looks pretty stout in net so far.
He has played a very good hockey game for CMU, though that last glove save kind of looked like it got through him a little bit, and he's lucky they didn't go by him. Another good flash of the leather there from the netminder for Central Michigan. 33.6 to go in period 1, 1-0 Central Michigan.
Shot attempt from Kyle Kubiak, the senior defenseman. 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points on the year from Frankenmuth. Played in the USPHL last year for the Rum River Mallards with teammate Garrett Sawyer. And he has 4+ years experience. Playing triple hockey as there's a shot on the near side, and they score. So right off the hop, Saginaw, we talked about Lauren Jones coming up big, but Saginaw nets one right there past the blocker side in the top corner. It's 1-1.
That hit off a body out in front, Devin. Lauren Jones was squared up to that shot, but Saginaw Valley State, the tenacity to stay in this game and not get their head down. They know they've beaten the national champions, so they can beat anybody else. They're staying in this game, and a good shift by Saginaw to just keep that, or to take that momentum away from CMU at the 1937 mark.
Leading that line was the junior forward Brendan Dickinson from Port Huron, Michigan. 5 goals now on the year, 6 assists, 11 points. He's got points in all but 2 games this season. those in Hope game number 1 and Florida Gulf Coast game 2. And he's complemented the line with Carlisle and Flanagan well. 3 of the 4 goals against Ferris State this year came from that line and that win over the Bulldogs. And right now to this team at 1 apiece late in this third period after CMU played well defensively, but Saginaw off the break gets a deflection in front, and that puts this game at a draw at 1. But stay with us. We'll have the first intermission report presented by SeaMitchIceHockey.com for you when we return from Martin Ice Arena, Saginaw Valley, and Central Michigan. You're watching CMU Hockey here on CCHN. Back with you inside Martin Ice Arena for this first intermission report presented by CMHIceHockey.com. I'm Devin Sarah on your call for today's hockey game for the first of this weekend series between Saginaw and CMU. That first period had a lot of forecheck action as Saginaw off the hop looked like they were making life tough for goaltender for Lauren Jones. He made some key stops at key moments during the first 10 minutes of that period to keep it knotted at zeros. But after that, CMU broke the ice as it was Andrew Siraki, the freshman from Northville, Michigan, knotting his second of the year at officially coming 16:32 of that first period. He was assisted by Jenny Nadeau and made a really nice move to go forehand, then the backhand, and roof a puck that looked like it went off a body in front, but actually went top cheese. When I say top cheese, it's in the top corner over the goaltender, Peter Mihal, to give CMU the 1-0 tilt in that game. But just 3.5 minutes later, after it looked like we were going to break with CMU having a bunch of momentum after killing off the first penalty of the game late from Keelan Baker for a cross-check, putting Saginaw at 0 for 1 on the power play. It looked like they'd go to the break 1-0, but it was Saginaw Valley State's number 43, Brendan Dickinson, scoring for them. He would nod officially on the year his 5th goal of the year. And it was really a near side angle shot that went off a body in front. The original shot was from number 70, Cameron Barlas, who now picks up his 7th assist of the year. A secondary assist going to Kyle Kubiak, the defenseman, for that. And really it puts Saginaw now in a position where they didn't play exactly the best that last 5.5 minutes in the neutral zone. It looked like they were a little bit sloppy getting on the breakouts. CMU was doing a good job keeping them to the outside and negating any of the rushes, especially clogging up the middle where they couldn't shoot from point-blank range. But nonetheless, a near-side shot from the left circle gets past Lauren Jones and knots this game at 1 apiece. So that's where we sit after 20. Officially for our out-of-town scoreboard, men's 2 took on Lake Superior State earlier today. Lake Superior winning 10-3 in a rout over the Division II Chippewas. Women's 2 is in action next week against Loyola Chicago. That game will be taking place in Chicago for Loyola's home series, where CMU will go on the road for that. Matt Ryder and Derek Steele will have the call for it all of that weekend, so be sure to tune in for that. As far as our ACHA out-of-town scoreboards, Hope College at Michigan State University, still waiting for them to tee off in that one. And then number 1, Sacred Heart versus St. Thomas Aquinas. Oddly enough, Sacred Heart University coming in ranked number 1 in men's Division III at only 5 wins, no losses, however. Taking on them and Arkansas and Dallas Baptist. So a couple of notable games in action, and we'll hopefully give you a score update there after the second intermission report, with Reagan Cleves coming up after the 20 minutes of the second period. Other Chippewa scoreboards, women's cross country placed 17th out of 31 teams earlier today. Men's taking 24th out of 29. And women's volleyball in action tonight at Western. That game is a whiteout, and boy, is McGurk Arena bumping for that one. Women's volleyball team sort of on a breakout year. They haven't really looked like they were going to be one of the better teams in the MAC. They've had some notable upsets against Miami, Ohio, the Ohio Bobcats, and gone on the road and faced some tough opponents. So women's volleyball action, you can tune in that on ESPN Plus, as well as the Chippewa Properties Sports Radio Network there on the CMU Athletics website. And you can also catch that action live, as we mentioned, on ESPN Plus. But here on CCHN, we're just waiting second period action ahead of this first intermission. After CMU got out to the early jump 1-0, but it was Saginaw tying the game late from number 43, Brendan Dickinson. That's where we sit after 20. CMU 1, Saginaw 1. You're watching Central Michigan Hockey. Stay tuned with us. Second period puck drop next. Second period back inside Martin Ice Arena. Devin Sarah alongside Reagan Cleaves for CMU and Saginaw Valley State knotted at 1 apiece after the first period saw Andrew Shiraki scoring to open the floodgates, and then Saginaw came back quickly with just 23 seconds left, and Brennan Dickinson would nod them after a deflection in front. So that's where we sit. And Reagan, a pretty good period for CMU. We were worried about the initial hop that Saginaw would be the faster team, and they looked like that, controlling the neutral zone, getting on the breakouts. Lauren Jones came up big, but really an impressive period overall for CMU that they have to continue.
You know what Central Michigan needs to do here in period number 2 is to make sure that Saginaw Valley State does not capitalize on that momentum they had at the end of the second. They scored with about 23 seconds left in period number 1. They got to make sure that they get back on the hop and are able to keep Saginaw Valley State and pressure them in the offensive end.
It'll be Nathan Bottles to dig in for CMU, Garrett Leeser to dig in for the Cardinals. From left to right, Central Michigan in their brand new away whites. We call them away, but using them here at home to debut them with the Central Michigan lettering crest, maroon helmets, and maroon pants. And for Saginaw on right, their navy blue and red uniforms. Here's a shot attempt from the top of the right circle. Great block in front there from Angie Porzimnik. And boy, a battle of the sweaters. That really is why this is the game to watch, folks. Not because of the play on the ice, and that one looked like it squirted through, but oh boy, Mihal had it. It looked like it went into the chest protector. Could have gone through his lower pads, but keeps this one knotted at 1. That was a close chance.
Yeah, it was a close chance, and Mihal, a goaltender that doesn't wear a ton of padding up top. He wears a thinner chest protector, and that doesn't give him as much coverage out in front, and it forces him to be a little bit quicker, and he may not get some of the saves that he normally would.
It's easy for you to say, Reagan, with your broad shoulders. You've played goaltender for a couple of years. You didn't need pads yourself, but you could have.
I did need pads, but like even just looking at Lauren Jones and Mihal here, they look like Mihal. No offense here, looks like a stick.
He kind of looks like an old school Ron Hextall kind of look. Very thin at the shoulders.
No.
I was going to say way earlier than that. Back when goaltenders wouldn't even wear masks and just take a puck to the chip like an old timer.
I don't know. I seriously have no clue how they did that.
Oh, yeah. Would you want to take a puck at 100 miles an hour back in 1956 against Gordie Howe? I don't think so.
A, they didn't go 100 miles an hour, and B, I took a couple of shots off the mask when I played. And
hey, I don't know, man. Bobby Orr had a pretty wicked wrister, if you ask me.
I mean, he did, but I doubt it was 100 miles an hour.
Nonetheless, EMU looking with their own wicked wrister in the attacking zone. 18:50 left in the second period. Devin Sarah alongside Reagan Cleaves from Martin Ice Arena, the first of this 2-game weekend series. The 15th-ranked Saginaw Valley State Cardinals coming off a weekend split with Florida Gulf Coast, in which they won 4-2 and then lost 6-5. Near side shot. Oh, boy, what a dangerous chance to the leading scorer, Logan O'Flanagan.
That's a dangerous giveaway in the offensive end there the defensive end there for Central Michigan.
In front, once again, a bad giveaway, and that one capitalizes. They score. Aaron Shaheen moving in deep after a puck was set in front, and Shaheen capitalizing on the momentum that Saginaw gained at the end of that first period puts them on top 2-1.
Not only are they capitalizing on the momentum at the end of that second period, they're capitalizing on sloppy play by Central Michigan at the defensive end. CMU had a great opportunity to get that puck out. Keelan Baker's pass out of the neutral zone or out of the defensive end was intercepted at the blue line there by O'Flanagan. He worked into the circle. His initial shot went wide, but on the rebound they controlled behind the net. They fed it out in front. It was a loose puck to the side of the cage. And a minute and 35 in, it's 2-1.
The senior from Ortonville, Michigan, knotting his 5th of the campaign. He continues his 3-game point streak now at 4, and now with points in 5 of his last 6. And Reagan, one of the leaders in this group, Aaron Shaheen, being on the executive board of this team, really setting the tone, as that was a hard working forecheck, as mentioned by the leading scorer, Logan O'Flanagan. And for Shaheen, he scored the game-winning goal against Hope in that 5-3 win on October 22nd. And for a senior player that really complements, it kind of mix up and down the lineup of senior veterans, grad students, and then a bunch of freshmen that have really mixed well to put them at 8 wins on the year. And man, have they really clicked at the right time.
Indeed, and they started clicking at the end of last season. A little bit of a white horse candidate coming in to the MCHC East playoffs. They made it all the way to the quarterfinals against Michigan, where they ended up losing in overtime. Central Michigan ended up winning, and we're going to have a penalty here on CMU.
Looks like it's going to be on number 71, Jay Nadeau, pending the call here, as it looks like actually. awaiting the trial by the referees. Tripping coming up here, and it was number 19, Isaac Gibbs, the sophomore from Novi, Michigan, the guilty party. That will put Saginaw to their second power play of the night. They were 0 for 1 in that first period after Keelan Baker's cross-check.
Yeah, they did have a good opportunity. They did have a good penalty kill, but Saginaw still controlled in the offensive end. They were able to get a ton of good shots off on Lauren Jones, and it was really more luck than anything that CMU escaped that penalty kill.
Face-off won by the Cardinals. Garrett Leeser got it out to the point where it was quickly set on net with not enough smoke. And Lauren Jones is able to send it, turn it wide. Now moving into the zone quickly, here is Brendan Baker. Stops at the half wall, turns aside one defender. Over there, Sam Camara. Camara decks to the floor after he tried to check him up high. And that one allows Saginaw to control. 1:35 in their power play. Sends it on top. A frustrated Saginaw group trying to cycle the puck. They couldn't do it well that time. Sends to the near side, the end board. Now here's Thomas sending a puck in front. And that one well wide after Saginaw struggling to get this one through. As CMU is clogging up the middle. Nathan Bottles collects it, or rather defended. There's Brendan Baker, another shot, and again a shot turns wide.
Central Michigan's got to make sure they don't collapse on defense. Saginaw Valley's had a couple of guys out in front and the back door and the point, and they've had them open for a split second, but Nathan Bottles, captaining this CMU penalty kill, has made sure it stayed put, and here's a shot that goes up and out of play. Christopher Martin took down Lesser out in front.
59 seconds to go in Saginaw's second power play of the night. And Reagan, one of the things that CMU did so well all year in their penalty kill was just keeping guys to the outside, frustrating them, not allowing them to cycle the puck like they wanted to. And when they lose it, make a mistake, cough it up, it would just clear it down the way of the length and kill off 30 more seconds. And this CMU group right now doing a good job not collapsing until this point. And now CMU on their heels as Saginaw's trying to jam it home on the near side as Shaheen was looking for his second, and Lauren Jones clogged that one up and said no.
Shaheen doing a good job to pick that puck up off the end boards and try to stuff it short side on Lauren Jones with a little bit of daylight between Jones's pad and the post, but Shaheen couldn't stuff it through, and we remain at a 2-1 game.
Flanagan got it up top to his defenseman. Kubiak sends it across. Back up to Kubiak for a one-timer attempt by Flanagan and blocked off the butt of Charlie Hayes. Good stop right there in front. Kubiak back up top now. Near side, they're going to send it up top. One more try for the back door. Oh, boy, that was a great feed there from Keegan Carlisle over to Tyler Russell. And Saginaw cycling it up top again. Kubiak over to Carlisle. Sends that one-timer, and that was deflected off the body of Baker after he whiffed a little bit on the shot. 16:04 to go in the second period. 17 seconds left in Saginaw's second power play. A chance for Flanagan once again, and that one he whiffed wide. Now Carlisle picks it back up. Deeks Keelan Baker clogging up the middle. They scramble for it. Back up top, and Flanagan to fan on the one-timer, well wide. 1 second left. They'll go 0 for 2 on the night, but Saginaw still with the pressure. Up top, another try, and they send that one once again wide from Tyler Russell. And here comes Stevie the other way, out of the box. Isaac Gibbs. He's got Porzonik on his wing and sends a shot in. That's easily gloved by Mihal after he just wanted to get the whistle.
Lauren Jones is lucky this isn't a 3-1 game. Oh, Flanagan was sent up right in Ovechkin's kitchen, right in the left circle, waiting for that one-timer feed across from the right side. He had it. He had a wide open net, but he just fanned on the shot, and Lauren Jones should thank his lucky stars that didn't go in. Oh, Flanagan this close for making it a 3-1 game.
Quick shot attempt there off the face-off draw, and Mihal will collect that one up. And O'Flanagan, a dangerous finisher. Reagan with 10 goals on the season through his first 10 games. He played last season with the St. Catharines Falcons of the Greater Ontario Junior Hockey League, and he had a lot of good numbers there. 13 goals, 11 assists. He leads this team by 7, averaging 2.5 points per game. And boy, you talk about being top heavy. Well, Saginaw is complemented by a lot of depth that allows Flanagan to just move how he wants. If you saw in that power play, he had a great opportunity and really a great feed, just couldn't finish the play.
Central Michigan dogged by an ill-advised pass by Julian Johnson on the offensive end that led to a turnover. He's got absolutely no white sweaters out in front, but he's pinned up along the end boards, just throws it out in front, even though he's got an open man at the point. That's an opportunity and a mistake that Central Michigan needs to work on and not make in the future.
Oh, good stretch pass up to Isaac Gibbs, who takes a shot on net, and Mihal got it with a chest protector, swallowed up the rebound attempt, and no one was there to pick it up. With 14:52 to go in the second, Isaac Gibbs now with 2 good initial shot attempts, getting more active.
That's some great defensive work there by Windy, coming back after Isaac Gibbs picked up the pass just inside the blue line. Windy was at the right point, right at about the dot. Gibbs at the far side, right at about the dot, and he did a good job to cut Isaac Gibbs off, force him to take a little bit of a weaker shot than he may have initially.
Christopher Martin up top. Connor Morgan fights for it down low. Knocked off the puck. Martin got it back up top. Loose puck in front. Porzonik set it in front. And a nice block there, I believe, by Benjamin Wellnitz to clear it out to center where CMU tries to transition it. They turn it over once again. It's collected up here by John Thomas, the sophomore from Cleo, Michigan. And he'll send this one deep once again. CMU has to cycle it back in their own end. Porzonik tied up. He gets it up the wing there for Bottles, who sends this one on a backhand attempt. It's kept in the zone by Saginaw, and it forces Austin Ritter to fight for it. Knocked off the puck hard there by Thomas. Good work by the sophomore to negate that attempt in the clear, but Ritter gets it back. Send this one up the far side boards. Up to Porzonik, and he had it almost all alone as Wellnitz trailed the play well, and Porzonik, the leading scorer for the Chips, trying to make something happen. He gets it up there to Bottles. Loose in front. Oh, boy. Morgan had a one-timer in front from Nathan Bottles and just couldn't finish it after it fanned on him.
That comes off its morning for a stoppage of play with 13:56 left here in period 2, and we'll take a trip back in history. In this date in Chippewas history, back in 2016, the Chippewas began the weekend on the right foot by taking down the Northwood Timberwolves 7-2 at Midland Civic Arena. Northwood scored first in both the first and second periods, with each goal giving them the lead. However, with help from Nathan Algeier's third period hat trick, Central Michigan scored 6 straight and are out to the 7-2 win.
Andrew Shiraki sent a long blue line chance in that went off the end boards and collected by Saginaw in transition. They'll pick it up in their own end. Connor Mayers, the freshman from Marysville, Michigan, only his 4th game played this season. Right now going to work against the sophomore Gibbs, who wins that battle. He'll ream it around the far side board. It's collected up there. Siraki up the wing. Kamara came in to help at the blue line, but couldn't keep it in as Gibbs gets it back now. He's trailed on the play hard there. Checked off the puck and it turned over and allowed Saginaw for a chance. Connor Barlos, who had the assist on Dickinson's goal to open up the scoring for Saginaw earlier, works with it now. Sent in front, went off the shaft of the stick of Jay Nadeau. Saginaw cycles it back up top. Good defensive work there by Siraki to get it out of the zone. Works up through center with Jay Nadeau. Gets over the blue line, gained it, and lost it. Isaac Gibbs now back up top. Now here comes Saginaw the other way. Logan O'Flanagan works with it. Cross center feed there. Charlie Hayes negated that attempt, and CMU whiffs on the clear. Isaac Gibbs couldn't get it out. Now Saginaw allows them to change bodies as they flipped benches with CMU for this game only. Kind of a weird scenario if you're used to this arena. But nonetheless, it allows them to reset bodies out. Kubiak goes to the bench. He's replaced there by Bruce McLean at top in defense. Shaheen works with it. Jay Nadeau and him fall down. Lost an edge. And now working now in is Brendan Dickinson again. He'll move a step one body, sends it on net, and that one a wraparound try near side. Lauren Jones trying to stuff it home, and rather that was Russell who couldn't get it. And look out, we're going to get some extracurriculars here as Dickinson, or rather Russell, moved in on it, didn't like it from his goaltender, and that was Jay Nadeau getting involved there, pushing and shoving going on. Referees ensuing on the scrum, and they will cause a lot of coincidentals right here.
Exactly. Jay Nadeau's going to go off for the retaliation. Russell, I believe, is going to go off as well here. Might be coincidental minors as Nadeau's going to go off, and Andrew Siraki is being led to the penalty box as well by the linesman here. So we're going to have 2 penalties to CMU, and right now looks only 1 to Saginaw Valley. A scrum on the near side that was ignited by Lauren Jones stuffing a man in the back door and jamming away at the loose puck before the whistle. And then Jay Nadeau, Charlie Hayes all came to Jones's defense, and that'll draw some penalties.
And you know, Reagan, we haven't really touched on it much, but CMU from last year to this year really cleaned up a lot of the post-whistle scrums that they were having early in the year. They had a couple of players actually get misconducts and sent off the ice in games for getting in post-whistle scrums, alibi Ben Rychuk, but they have really cleaned that up this year. And that's something head coach Tyler Cataline has stressed to his players, to not cause incoincidentals every single whistle that someone frustrates. That time a little well-warranted as Tyler Russell tried to stuff it on the near side, and his players didn't like it as he was just whacking away at the right pad of Jones. And it causes incoincidentals that now they have to talk about. And boy, I mean, this is really a rivalry matchup that 2 teams really don't like each other, Reagan. It's expected to happen, but it really happened at probably the right time of the game.
Yeah, and you go back to what we saw last year with Ben Rydchuk decking Brandon Marshall in the corner, and then pulling out the fists on him. And this is a rivalry that doesn't often get very heated, at least throughout, over the course of games. But there are always those little instances of, hey, you're an hour down the road, we don't like you, and that's when we get the little fireworks that happen, including here. And looks like CMU is going to go back on the penalty kill here for the third time today.
And Siraki is going to be assessed the minor penalty right there. It's the third of the night for CMU. They've killed off the other two penalties from Keelan Baker in the first after a cross-check, and then Isaac Gibbs at 2:13 of the second. And like we mentioned, the penalty kill has been strong, but we saw Logan O'Flanagan had a backdoor chance that was wide open for him, and he could have stuffed it on that side on the one-timer, just fanned it wide. This is a dangerous chance for Saginaw because they have really gained momentum in this game. It seems like from the last 7.5 minutes after, look, CMU, let's face it, hasn't gotten a lot of shot attempts on Mihal, at least ones that were quality, and it may not have to work for it.
Now, this entire second period has been controlled by Saginaw Valley State. They've gotten, they got the goal at 1:35, but since then they've been controlling in the zone to our left. We've had a couple of chances, including one by Isaac Gibbs down in the zone to our right, but it's been a lot of blue sweaters holding the puck in the offensive end here for the first 7 minutes and 37 seconds.
Devin Sarah Reagan Cleves on the call from Martin Ice Arena, the first of this two-game weekend series. For Saginaw Valley State, they have a lot of new birds in the nest. 3 of the top 6 forwards have been freshmen. Logan O'Flanagan, Brendan Carlisle, as well as Cameron Barlass, who had the assist earlier tonight from Dickinson's initial goal to open the slate for Saginaw. And for this revamped team, look, we talked about it. They have had some major wins this year against good opponents. 5-3 against Hope College, handing them their first loss in a year and a half back on October 22nd. And then the next week, they went on the road all the way to Estero, Florida, to take down the Eagles of Florida Gulf Coast. On October the 28th, they have one key loss on the schedule, that is to Hope College, that being a 7-1 rout on October the 21st. And we caught up with head coach Brendan Ryan about that earlier before this game, Reagan. He talked about how they really didn't lose the game necessarily because of their own play. They were actually dominating a lot of the forecheck. But the Hope College Dutchman capitalized on what he said was, quote, 6 key mistakes that led to the rout and the scoring sheet that doesn't look good on paper, but one that Saginaw, look, came back from the next night, beat Hope College 5-3, and that was the story.
Indeed, and that just shows how good this Saginaw Valley State team is. Hope is a team that has dominated Division III for the last 4 or 5 years. They won back in 2018. They had a couple of seasons off. And Andrew Porzondik getting into it here.
Oh, yeah, he shoved over the shoulder of Brendan Dickinson. The referee's getting involved. It's starting to get chippy a little bit at the middle frame of the second period. But like you talked about, Reagan, that is a massive win as, oh, look out, Nathan Bottles decked a Saginaw forward, and we're going to get some extras here. The gloves are coming off here. Shaheen's working in there with Porzondik. The hit was a little bit up high. Bottles said.
My guess is it's going to be boarding here on Nathan Bottles. It didn't look like anything intentional. I didn't see him extend the arms. It just looked like the contact made the man fall in front, and it looks like Bottles and as well as Shaheen are both going to go off here, so we'll have more coincidentals unless Bottles turns out to be a 5-minute major. I don't think it will. It didn't look like anything particularly horrible. It just looked like Carlisle lost his footing going into the boards and ended up going head first.
Nonetheless, a scary hit for the number 25 forward, Kieran Carlisle, the freshman from Brighton, Michigan. 3 goals, 8 assists, 11 points in the air. And you always, we just saw the Red Wings game the other night, Montreal Canadiens, Matt Luff going hard into the boards and losing a couple of teeth, having to get some stitches. That was a scary hit and one that you never want to see, but glad to see him just pop back up. And probably warranted. Bottles goes to the box for that, so that'll put him up there. 5 minutes.
Oh, come on.
For the hit on Carlisle. And, oh, boy, folks, that one's going to be talked about.
Indeed. And so Central Michigan on a 4-on-3 here for the next minute and 56. They'll have a 4-second power play, but
it'll be an coincidental minor to Aaron Shaheen as well. But Bottles gets the 5 minutes, so he'll sit for an extended period. And like Reagan said, 4-on-3 with 12:18 for the next minute and 56 officially on the clock here in the second period of action. Central opened the scoring slate after it was Andrew Siraki picking up his second of the year. It looked like a puck was deflected off of a body, but he stuffed it in far side on the backhand. Jay Nadeau got the assist. And then late in that first period with just 23 seconds left, it was Brendan Dickinson, the junior, scoring for them. And really a deflection in front off of Cameron Barlass's shot. That put him mounted at 1. And then out of the locker room, Saginaw continued the momentum. After it was Aaron Shaheen, the captain and E-board member of the Saginaw Cardinal team, scoring at 1:43. And ever since that point, Reagan, it's really been Saginaw's period. And the frustrations you can see kind of starting them out for this Central team that, hasn't had the things go the way they've wanted, but they've needed to play a full 60 minutes, and an important penalty kill is going to come up here for a group that has been great all at the start this year.
This is a massive penalty kill for Central Michigan. Like we said, they'll have about a 3-minute all-you-can-eat power play. Will Saginaw Valley State, even if they score, Bottles will not come out of that box, but a good start here as the Chippewas take the puck and dump it down.
Good face-off draw win there by Isaac Gibbs, who sends that one down to kill off the next 20 seconds or so. But Saginaw coming up with the open ice has the transition the other way. Here's Carlisle, who took that scary hit just a couple of moments ago. Back up, sends it up top to Kubiak. Him and him will tag with it. Back up top to center. Kubiak waits, looks for his options. O'Flanagan, the leading scorer. Back up top to Carlisle, looking for the 1T. Gets it back to the other side for Flanagan. Backhands it and roosts that one well up over the head of Lauren Jones. Now this one collected far side. Here's moving with it, Carlisle. Carlisle, Lakes, centering feed in front. Good play there by Sam Camara to negate the attempt there after Kyle Kubiak made a loose move to the net, and he has to go off for a change. 1:05 left to go in this 4-on-3 power play for Saginaw. Now Logan O'Flanagan turns wide with it. Defended well there by Christopher Martin. Knocked him off the puck prematurely. Got it up the wing there behind the end boards there for Dickinson, who scored earlier tonight. And now O'Flanagan collects it once again. Back up top to Kubiak. Kubiak will wait with it. Over to Carlisle. One-timer, and that one's sent wide on the near side. And it reams all the way back to the red line where it had to scoop it up with 39 to play. 11 minutes left in the second period. Look, quick transition, short-handed. A nice feed there from Christopher Martin to Isaac Gibbs, and just couldn't handle it on his tape. And allows Saginaw to reset their own end and get on the breakout now. A little bit outnumbered, 3-on-2 almost developed. Kubiak drop pass for O'Flanagan. He'll wait with it. Send one back in front for Carlisle. They score! O'Flanagan centering feed there for Carlisle, and he makes no mistake about it. And the short-handed Chippewas suffer, and Saginaw gets up 2 goals, 3-1.
Yeah, that's just a good power play goal there for Saginaw Valley State. Doing a good job to get a guy out there, to get people out in front, make Lauren Jones move left to right, and ended up going in the back of the net. Looked like a one-timer along the ice, and Central Michigan 4-on-4 for the next 24 seconds before they have a 3-minute penalty kill.
The freshman from Brighton, Michigan, scoring his 4th of the campaign. Played last year with the Toledo Cherokee in 42 games. He had 11 goals, 37 assists. That was team leading. And he has points in all 10 games this season. Had 2 assists in the Florida Gulf Coast win. Now second on the team once again in assists and points. Scoring his first goal since that 5-3 win over Hope on October the 22nd. Now, Saginaw once again still a little bit on this man advantage after Nathan Bottles was sent to the box for the low hit on Carlisle that sent him into the own bench face first. And Carlisle, who got shoved there, bounces back in less than 2 minutes to score and put his team up by 2 in the middle part of this second frame. Now puck turned over there by Keelan Baker and allows Saginaw to go back to work, but good play to come back on the play. It went off the right leg of the Saginaw defender, Barlass, but they can't keep it in the zone, and they have to reset out to center. Barlass sends it up the near side for Jacob Martin, the junior, and now he'll ream this one around the end boards and comes back up top there to Brendan Baker. Baker will work with it now. Back there for CMU, and here's Andrew Porzanik. He's got a breakaway chance. Gets inside positioning. Porzanik, he scores! Over the blocker, Andrew Porzanik, short-handed. CMU, what a job! And Andrew Porzanik continues his scoring onslaught. Goals in his last 4.
What a great job there by Andrew Porzondik. He was working in there with with the defenseman right on top of him. He managed to get the step around him. A shorthanded goal for Central Michigan. He gets them right back in this game. They're only down 1 with 9:33 to go.
Andrew Porzondik with his 12th tally of the year, the senior from Macomb, Michigan, coming off ACHA career highs last season, and he now has eclipsed his goal total from last season in 13 less games. And Reagan, he had points in 4 straight coming into tonight, including 2 hat tricks against Notre Dame and U of M Flint, and it continues that to 5 as Porzondik gets the Chippewas back within 1 after they were losing that period. And Bottles, who's still sitting in the box for the next minute and 48, Saginaw gets a chance to work with it. Still on this 5-on-4 advantage. They send one in front. Backhand attempt. It's still loose in front. Jones scooped it up as he found it in his pads. And another dangerous chance for Saginaw negated after Lauren Jones comes up big and doesn't allow the rebound.
Yeah, good job there by Lauren Jones to keep track of that bouncing puck in front. It hit a Cardinal out in front, and he was able to find that puck as it fell to the ground, get his stick down to seal up any gaps between his pads and the ice, and it just fell right to him, and he was able to cover with 8:56 to go in the second. Fans, the broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the American Collegiate Hockey Association, the Seaman Club Hockey Network, and Moore Hall Television. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distributions of the accounts or descriptions of this game may take place without the express written consent of the ACHA, CCHN, and MHTV.
Face-off won by the Cardinals. Gets it back up top to Kubiak. This power play unit going back to work as that was Russell trying to stuff it short side. After a nice feed from Carlisle. Carlisle steps one defenseman. He's got it in front. Backhand chance. Flanagan picked the puck up and was knocked off by Jay Nadeau as he couldn't get the puck rebounded to send it on net. Now, Saginaw behind the net. 1:15 to go in their advantage after Nathan Bottles' penalty. Flanagan. Great defensive work by the sophomore, Isaac Gibbs, who's really coming to his own now as that two-way forward. Reagan keeping the leading scorer from negating that. He gains the zone again, however. Kyle Kubiak knocked off the puck there by Gibbs. Reagan gets it back. Over to Carlisle. Looked for the one-timer, stepped on it. Keelan Baker defended it well, and he sidestepped it where Nadeau cleared the zone with 49 to go in their power play, and they lost fresh bodies to get out there.
Great job by Central Michigan on this extended penalty kill. They've been forcing Saginaw Valley State to the outside. Oh, that's going to be offsides. As coming onto the ice was number 9 for Saginaw Valley State, Bruce McLean. He hopped over the boards and just got over.
Yeah, Brendan Baker, the offside negate there. And you talked about how, look, CMU was on their heels early in that second, Reagan. They had a lot of good chances. Saginaw did, especially working down low and making life tough for Lauren Jones, who has to move cross crease. We've seen him come up with some big stops, control the rebounds for the most part. But right now, Saginaw still up 3-2 in this game. They have time to work with it. 27 seconds left after the 5-minute major penalty assessed to Nathan Bottles. And they work down low with it still. Here's Garrett Leesar working with it. Leesar behind the net to John Thomas in front. Jones found that one after the initial shot attempt by Bruce McLean, and he scoops that again. Reagan, and that's another chance behind that. Just CMU trying to clog up the middle, but they haven't allowed it the last couple of 2 minutes.
Yeah, they've been clogging up the middle, but Thomas was wide open on the back door. Great job by Julian Johnson to tie him up, not allow Thomas to get his stick on the ice and tap that puck in. If he had, it was an easy tap-in for Thomas on the back door, but great defensive work there by Julian Johnson.
Back to work go the Cardinals. John Thomas collects it behind the net, sends it up to the wing to McLean. Back up top, shot attempt there, blocked in front. Nadeau got to the puck and cleared the blue zone where it's sent on the ice. And here's Nathan Bottles out of the box. 2-on-1 almost developed. Oh boy, if Bottles could have just got inside positioning there on Cameron Barlass, he would have had a wide open Jay Nadeau to feed on the back door. Nonetheless, it's tied up in the Saginaw zone. We're back to 5-on-5 for the first time in 7 minutes to go in the second period. CMU down 3-2, but Andrew Porzonic put them back within 1 shorthanded after Jay Nadeau stepped up forward here. Backhand attempt, short side, rebound, still loose in front. Trying to jam away at it is Bottles out of the box, and he gets sent the blade on and stopped after Nehall scooped it up. And oh, that was a dangerous look there. Look, CMU now finally with a good offensive opportunity. It looked like they had some developing.
Yeah, Central Michigan did a good job on that penalty kill, not only to limit the opportunities that Saginaw Valley State. I don't remember really a ton of good scoring chances on that power play, but they also were able to get numbers the other way and get and get some opportunities and kind of leave the momentum kind of in the middle of that seesaw that it's continually on.
Garen Carlisle, most recent scoring for Saginaw, won the faceoff draw, allowed them to come in transition. A nice shot from Tyler Russell and an even nicer save from Lauren Jones, a second one from the blue line after Kubiak. And he gets the whistle, 6:27 to play. Devin Sarah, Reagan Cleaves, look Reagan, assessing kind of your keys to the game, the mistakes at the neutral zone. It's kind of more bad Saginaw missing some passes, but look, they've worked well in transition, and let's face it right now, the better team right now through the first 25 and a half minutes of this game.
Yeah, exactly, and that was a good save by Lauren Jones on the Kubiak shot through traffic, and another one there by Russell right off the draw. It's a good job by CMU to tie up their men in front, but also good job by Saginaw Valley State to recognize that they've got screens out in front and take shots, because you saw what happened in the first period when, with 23 seconds left, that shot through traffic beat Lauren Jones after it hit a couple bodies out in front.
Andrew Siraki, who scored his second of the year earlier tonight, sends one in deep. He's helped out by Isaac Gibbs, turned the puck over, and now Saginaw got it back, and now he turned it over. Here's a backhand, forehand attempt for Gibbs as he was trying to work around his body, and it was blocked in front. Now working out of the zone is McClellan. He'll get it up the wing there to his forward, Brendan Baker.
That was a great opportunity there by Isaac Gibbs out in front, but he was trying to finagle that puck on the backhand. He had Andrew Siraki 2 feet behind him, who would have been able to rip a forehand shot from the mid slot. That's a good opportunity, and another mental mishap there by Central Michigan. We saw the pass by Julian Johnson back earlier in this period that let them forego a chance in the offensive end to keep possession, but that's another mental mishap for CMU that they need to cut down on here as we get going in this second period. 5:16 remaining.
Stay tuned, folks. Second intermission report coming up with Reagan Cleaves. He'll recap that second period after the floodgates open. Saginaw Valley with 2 goals to make it 3-1, and Andrew Porzondik nodding his team leading 12th of the season. Gets them back within 1, and for Porzondik, again, one of those players that has to step up, being the top scorer for them. And right now, CMU's with some offensive zone time, working with it. They turn the puck over after. Here comes Saginaw the other way in transition. Gaining the red line is Cameron Barlass. Barlass got stepped off there by Christopher Martin. He'll send this one near side once again, working up the wing. Through center now, Christopher Martin. Working with it, the assistant captain takes a shot from the top of the left circle, well wide. Bottles there to pick up the loose change, and it's collected there by Saginaw off the transition hop. Dickinson met up there after the body from Morgan laying it. Nathan Bottles came in to help. Porzondik got it back, and he has a looking for a feed in front. He gets one there. Shot attempt, and that one scooped up by Mihal. And once again, CMU player down on the ice. Some extracurriculars developing. That was a good feed in front there from Porzondik. Got it through 4 bodies, Reagan, to get it on the blade of Nathan Bottles, who just couldn't stuff it home.
And it looks like Central Michigan might be getting a penalty or a power play out of this, as number 43 in Brendan Dickinson is going to head to the box. So Central Michigan, Devin, with 4:27 left here in period 2, is going to go on the power play for the first time here tonight.
As Reagan said, their first of the night. Dickinson, who had the first goal for Saginaw in this hockey game at 1925 of the first, sends them to the power play. And look, for the fact is, Saginaw has had 4 straight power plays, including Nathan Bottles' major 5-minute. And the thing about this power play unit, they have been excellent. They've scored in all but a couple games this year on it, sitting around the 26th percentile, 26.53 to be exact. So this power play unit hasn't had a lot of time to shine, but they'll get their opportunity here with 4:20 to play in the second. Turn the puck over prematurely, however. Camara had to go back to get it. Cameron Barlass trailing the play. And now Camara stops on a dime. They'll work out on the transition. Bad turnover there as they're moving in. Logan O'Flanagan turned the puck over and sends it to the end boards to kill the time, and it forces CMU to try and flush it out. Isaac Gibbs can't gain it off the blade. He's trying to get it desperately over there to Camara. Gains it back, and O'Flanagan doing a nice job killing time right here.
What a great forecheck here by O'Flanagan. And again, more mental mishaps by Central Michigan. That pass by Sam Camara was fanned on, and that allowed O'Flanagan to get the puck, and now they turn it over at the offensive blue line.
Porzondik gets it back after it went off a leg wing side. Turned it over again, and Saginaw gets the clear attempt. Kyle Kubiak the length of the ice. 1:05 to play in this second. And you're right, Reagan, the mental mishaps kind of adding up for CMU. Isaac Gibbs earlier, and now that time Sam Camara. They have to work out in the breakout. Over the red line, Sam Camara will gain the blue line, dumps it in deep. Met up there with Mihal after Ben Reinchuk tried to scoot in and none coming. So with 50 seconds left, really not any great opportunities for CMU so far. They'll get fresh bodies.
Yeah, and maybe like for CMU, you got to use this offensive zone draw as a chance to regroup, win this face-off, which is something Nathan Bottles is pretty darn good at, but it's going to be Jay Nadeau to dig in here for CMU and win the tie-up, and they do win the face-off.
Christopher Martin gets it back, sends it over the wing to Charlie Hayes, the assistant captain, and captain tag it up, and he sends one easily onto the chest protector of Mihal.
That's a great setup there by CMU on the power play. How many goals have we seen this season where it's been one, win the draw in the right wing circle, get it up to the right point, slide it over to the left point, usually it's Martin to Hayes, and they do that in that instance, and here they go again.
No tag again. Martin and Hayes. Hayes waits with it, looking for people to go towards. Nathan Bottles, right wing circle, takes one on net, gingerly trying to slide it on a rebound and none coming. It allows Saginaw to clear length the ice by Carlisle with 27 left in Dickinson's penalty. Christopher Martin regains it. He'll work it up, left wing. He'll get the breakout, work it out. Nathan Bottles up there to Keelan Baker, lost on his blade. It came all the way to Mihal, and they'll get another whistle, so another key face-off coming up. We talked about the face-off woes being an issue for them. They've played better in this game in the face-off circles, albeit in the attacking zone, not so much their own. But this is an important one because they're going to get the personnel they want, like we said, Charlie Hayes and Christopher Martin.
Exactly, and for CMU, they've done a really good job of winning these offensive zone faceoffs on this power play. Let's see if they can do it again with Bottles getting tied up.
Bottles won it. Charlie Hayes, a nice clapper from the top of the left. Got it on the blocker of Mihal, and that one went up into the moorings for the stop. Once again, 9 seconds left in their first power play opportunity of the night. Before that, Saginaw had 4 chances. After Nathan Bottles went there, and Keelan Baker sent a shot near side, and that one once again stopped by Mihal, the freshman goaltender, coming up big. Power play is over. CMU 0 for 1 on the night. Coming out of the box for them will be Jacob Martin, and now Christopher Martin tags up with it. Near side chance off the end boards. Mihal couldn't find it for a second. Trying to stuff it short side was Bottles and just couldn't collect it there. And once again, another whistle. And for the last minute and a half or so, Reagan, this has been what it's been. The face-off draw, slide it out up top, left side, take a shot, look for a rebound, but Mihal scooped them up.
That's a good job by CMU to create chaos out in front. That was a bouncing puck. Mihal had to find it through traffic. He was able to eventually clear out with his blocker, but Central Michigan has been dominant in the face-off circles, and they win it once again.
Yeah, good third straight face-off win for the Chips. They get it out to the left circle, try to get up top for Ritter, who took a shot prematurely on that, and it was blocked. Now, Jacob Martin works to the near side. Took a good hit there from Hayden Flynn. Hayden Flynn, the 4th-year senior from Trenton, Michigan. Only 1 assist on the year, but works well on the penalty kill. He's trying to wrap that one, stuff around, short side chance, and Flynn trying to get one on net. And are they going to whistle this one back out at center? Reagan.
What's coming up here? I believe a penalty on Saginaw Valley State. The referee at center ice had his arm up. Lauren Jones was heading to the box, and I believe, Devin, it's going to be another power play for the Maroon and Gold.
It looked like Hayden Flynn took a hit up high as he was trying to stuff it on the wraparound attempt. Hayden Flynn, not one of the players you see normally on the forecheck. He's kind of a steady presence on the 4th line. He got steadily better towards the end of last season, and his only assist this year came against Lake Superior State in game number 1 of that series on September 30th. But the 4th liner causes a penalty, which is assessed here to number 8, John Thomas, the sophomore from Clio, Michigan. And back-to-back power play opportunities for Central, who's won the last 3 face-off draws and had some good looks, Reagan.
Yeah, Saginaw Valley got a power play goal earlier in this contest. Central Michigan trying to return the favor here. They're 0 for 1 on the night.
Nathan Bottles, after Jay Nadeau won the face-off draw again, a bad miscue from Christopher Martin, who couldn't keep the blue line. He has to tag up with Martin. Over there, Logan O'Flanagan out of midair collects this puck, and boy, has he been an absolute pest for this CMU power play after he killed off time that first attempt, and some more right here. Nathan Bottles turns wide to the right circle, tries to get the inside possession, and good defense by Saginaw, trying to get up to Hayes, and he had to go back up to the blue line. Now down low for Nadeau as that one's off the body of O'Flanagan up into the net. He's just causing chaos everywhere.
And it's not just O'Flanagan, it's the entire Saginaw Valley State team. And watching this Cardinal team, you can so easily see how how they beat Hope. It's domination on the forecheck, forcing your opponents to make mistakes in the defensive end and capitalizing on them, and winning 5-3 over Hope is a testament to how darn good that forecheck is for Saginaw Valley State.
1:25 left in the penalty assessed to John Thomas. CMU trying to get a shot attempt, but they have none coming in the last 40 minutes. Isaac Gibbs tags up with Sam Camara. Now up the wing, here's Andrew Porzana, gained the blue line after it's prematurely taken away by Kyle Kubiak. Got it back up, and Connor Morgan, the freshman, has to clear it out to the red line. Cross ice feed for Camara, too far for him. Kubiak regains the possession, and he'll send this one to length to Isaac Gibbs, who has to reset. 46 to go in the period. It will end with CMU on the power play with about 9 to spare. Connor Morgan now has to work with it up top. Ben Rychuk, CMU trying to get one last late surge here in this second period to nod the hockey game up after Andrew Porzadnik scored shorthanded earlier ago. Saginaw gains the end boards. Connor Morgan will chase it after a big hit near side. Saginaw gains the blue line, and they'll clear this one out to Lauren Jones with 20 seconds to play.
This has been an absolutely phenomenal defensive stand by Saginaw Valley State. They have not allowed Central Michigan to get anything established in the offensive end.
Isaac Gibbs, near side chance, none coming. Mihal stopped that one. Porzana gets it back in front for Gibbs, off the post. Second chance from a sharp angle. And where is it? It's still loose in front. Saginaw desperately trying to clear it out, and Mihal scooped it at the whistle. Porzana got this puck at the far corner, got it down low to Isaac Gibbs, trying to stuff it. It rang off the near side iron. And Mihal comes up with a great late stop to keep this one up for Saginaw. They go to the locker room up 3-2, and that's where we sit after 2. So Saginaw with a couple of power play chances. CMU killing off most of those. Andrew Porzadnik scoring shorthanded, and a bunch of others Reagan Cleves will talk about in this second intermission report. Stay with us. Game number 1 of this weekend series, Central Michigan and Saginaw Valley State. You're watching CMU hockey here on CCHN.
And we are back ringside here at Martin Ice Arena. Reagan Cleaves inside the broadcast booth with you here for intermission number 2. Here as Central Michigan trails 3-2 at the end of 40 minutes here from Martin Ice Arena. That period started out tied, but it didn't stay that way for long. Aaron Shaheen banked home a rebound out in front for Saginaw Valley State to make it a 2-1 hockey game, 1:35 in, and from there they capitalized on a power play at 9:18 with Andrew Siraki in the box on a 4-on-3, along with Nathan Bottles in there as well, and O'Flanagan, who has been dominant for Saginaw Valley State here this season. He has his 12th assist of the campaign, along with Kyle Kubiak on the power play. So for Central Michigan, although they faced an onslaught of 4 straight Saginaw Valley State penalties or power plays early on in that game, they were 1 for 4. So CMU continuing to be a stingy penalty kill unit to play against, and from there, CMU was back in it just about 40 seconds later. Andrew Porzondik on a short-handed breakaway was able to sneak it bar down on Peter Mihal and make it a 3-2 game with 10:27. Central Michigan was inches away from tying the game at the end of that second period. Isaac Gibbs rang the shot off the left iron, and for Isaac Gibbs, it's a frustrating night, but Central Michigan was getting some momentum in that latter half of the opening period. At 15:33, Dickinson went off for a cross-check. Central Michigan unable to capitalize on that power play, but they still got pressure in the Saginaw Valley end. They were able to get some offensive zone time, get some pressure, win a couple of draws, move the puck back and forth, and kind of had Saginaw Valley scrambling in the latter half of that second period. Along with it, at 18:10, Thomas went off for a slash. So Central Michigan still on the power play for another 10 seconds to start that third period. But for CMU, they need to capitalize here on their upcoming chances. A quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Just games tonight, no scores at the moment. I didn't have time to look them up in our break. The Grand Rapids Griffins are taking on Toronto here in the evening. They are probably done now that I think about it. A 7 o'clock puck drop down in Grand Rapids. As we're approaching the 11 o'clock hour, that game certainly is over. The Saginaw Spirit took on the Sarnia Sting. Again, not sure of the score on that one. Again, that is probably done. You can check the score at the Saginaw Spirit website. Along with the Griffins, you can take a look at their score on either theahl.com or griffinshockey.com. The Detroit Red Wings in action tomorrow afternoon, tonight. Yeah, tomorrow against the Los Angeles Kings at 10:30. You can watch that on Bally Sports Detroit or listen on 97.1 The Ticket. Another couple of NHL games. Pittsburgh beat Toronto 4-2. Tampa Bay played Washington. San Jose played Dallas. And about an hour ago, Minnesota got underway against Seattle. That'll do it for intermission number 2. We'll step aside, but stay with us. An exciting third period sure to come as we step aside here on the CMU Club Hockey Network.
Back with you inside Martin Ice Arena ahead of the third period. Saginaw Valley State up 3-2. Devin Sarah, Reagan Cleaves on the call for today. After Saginaw knotted up 2 to put them up 3-1. CMU had a late surge shorthanded injury. Zondik scored his 12th of the season after Nathan Bottles had a 5-minute major for boarding Carlisle into his own bench at about the midway point of that second period. And really, Reagan, the CMU forecheck started to get some momentum, started to get some good shots on net, notably on their second power play opportunity, but the miscues have stacked up for them quite substantially.
Indeed, they have. Central Michigan struggling early on in this one as we're back underway.
Digging into the draw was Andrew Porzondik, and CMU on the breakout. Nathan Bottles against the blue line. Up top to Sam Camaro, who works it over. Saginaw in transition over the line. They'll gain it there. Charlie Hayes defended the puck well, moving over the blue line there from Cameron Barlass, who had an assist earlier tonight and has to go up and clear with it now. Here's Kyle Kubiak moving in with it. It'll be touched up here by Sam Camara, who has to go back in his own blue line, the end boards, to collect it. Christopher Martin up to Connor Morgan, the own end, lost an edge, got it up to Bottles anyway, who just flipped it up into the chest protector of Kubiak, and that will whistle over for Andrew Porzondik, who pulls the mannequin challenge, hand pass, and comes up through it as 19:20 to play in this first period. Their second power play chance comes to an end after John Thomas took one late in that second. CMU 0 for 2 on the power play on the night, and Saginaw Valley State unofficially here tonight 1 for 4 after an incidental penalty, as we mentioned, in Nathan Bottles for the boarding. So now, in the attacking zone, Julian Johnson took a backhand there. Andrew Porzondik, or rather as Ben Rychuk, couldn't find it as the third line goes back to work for CMU. And they'll clear it out in their own zone again. A little back and forth play here to start the first minute of the third, in which Saginaw Valley dominated the second. It was much CMU the first, but after a late surge, tied up the hockey game. And that sits us now at 3-2. So Ben Rychuk and Austin Ritter trying to work together. Here comes Saginaw the other way. Logan O'Flanagan, drop pass just too far for Brendan Dickinson. Oh, he was a step behind, having a wide open chance in the slot. It allows CMU to gain it. Ben Rychuk.
CMU getting away with one there. Christopher Martin elected to take the man instead of the body. A penalty coming up here on the Chippewas.
Ben Rychuk tripped up Hunter Windy, who streaked in over the near side blue line, and that causes the whistle. So Rychuk, the notable senior from Granville, going to the box again. Scored his first goal of the season last weekend in an 8-2 rout, and had a presumed assist earlier until Andrew Siraki scored his second of the year. So Rychuk going to the box for 2 with 18:28 to play. It'll be Saginaw's 5th power play opportunity of the night. And Reagan, once again, another miscue that cost the Chippewas their own end.
Yeah, indeed, and that was more a play at the blue line. Oh, a good save there by Lauren Jones. And for Central Michigan, they've, since the first 4 games, they've allowed, in their last 7, they've only had 2 games in which they have conceded more than or less than 5 penalties. So they've had a really stout defensive game, at least on the penalty kill. Oh my goodness, Chippewa bench exploding in the wanting a penalty call. They're not going to get one.
Oh, Flanagan with that shot attempt, redirected loose in front, and Jones had to make 2 key stops. And Reagan, I kind of watched your input. I was looking down for a statistic. They wanted the call, and they're not happy.
It looked like man came across the middle of the ice, and it was, I believe, Camara who went down in a heap after getting knocked over. Chippewa bench, everybody in white and maroon sweaters getting up on their feet after that one, but they aren't going to get a penalty call out of that.
Saginaw Valley State is 6-0 when they've been leading after the second. And that stat comes after the only 2 losses to Hope College and Florida Gulf Coast, where those games were knotted up and started the third periods, as that one's rang off the inboard glass just over the head of Lauren Jones with 1:20 to go in their 5th power play of the night. Kubiak over the wing there for O'Flanagan. A nice cycle here for Saginaw as that one's loose in front. And once again, Jones with the butterfly, and they'll get the whistle. And Saginaw not happy with that after they were calling that one a loose puck. O'Flanagan arguing his case, but not going to get one as the line judge.
O'Flanagan's more arguing the fact that he got bowled over at the side of the net. That's what Saginaw is complaining about. And, I mean, I do see how that might be, but after what they've let go in this game, I really don't think that that's much of a game. And Devin, you mentioned that Saginaw Valley State undefeated after leading after 2 periods. Central Michigan has not won when trailing after 2 periods. They're 0-2-1 with a 1 overtime loss.
CMU, they've been pretty excellent over the last course of, not to start this year, but even last season on home ice. But after losses to Ferris State and Florida Gulf Coast, they've kind of found themselves in positions like this where trailing after 2, it hasn't been their game. And now finding a resurgence as Kubiak took that one again, saved. Look, it's kind of coming down to this penalty hill. Gurnett has to step up for them. That's going to give them what the advantage they need. They need something to pop in their step to get going. And look, Saginaw just looks like the faster team to start, albeit on the power play with the first 2.5 minutes gone.
Exactly, and I mean, Central Michigan, especially in this first half of this third period, they've done a good job of keeping the shots to the outside and negating Saginaw Valley scoring chances. And here, as they dump the puck down the ice, 50 seconds to go in the man advantage, it's something that they need to continue to do. They need to keep on their toes with 17:10 to go in regulation.
McLean got it up the wing there to Cameron Barlas. Barlas had to turn aside after Connor Morgan's pressure. Got it up to Jacob Martin. McLean drop pass there for Barlas. Gains the blue line. In deep there for Lauren Jones, who scooped this up again to get a quick whistle with 29 left in their power play. And for a group that's had themselves on their defensive stand the last couple of minutes, even dating back to that second period late when Saginaw had a late surge to the net. They have staved it off, and now they have to do so for the next 20 seconds. McLean once again up the wing to Jacob Martin, the junior. Back to the end boards there, missed on a pass attempt for Leeser, and was chased in after. Now Leeser gets it back. Over to the wing to McLean at the top of the right circle. Sends one on net. Right pad save there from Lauren Jones off the right skate of Cameron Barlas and out after Keelan Baker's clear. 5 seconds left. CMU will kill off another penalty right here, and a good one after Saginaw pressured a couple times. And how about the goaltender Lauren Jones coming up with 4 big stops to start the third.
Ben Rychuk almost had an opportunity there right out of the penalty box, but it was deflected just over top of him by Keelan Baker.
Here's the third line going back to work. Julian Johnson takes a feed from Hayden Flynn. He'll dump this one in quickly. Ben Rychuk lost an edge, but the puck's still under his butt as he's getting up on the play. I've said that now twice this broadcast. Hayden Flynn moves in over it, for lack of better words. Jacob Martin up the wing. Couldn't handle it, and Christopher Martin goes cross ice for Austin Ritter. A little bit of back and forth play. Nice shoulder check there from Hayden Flynn. That'll give the bench some pep in their step after Tyler Russell got knocked off the puck. CMU regains possession off the inboard glass. Now Julian Johnson takes a man down. Luckily for him, no call coming after Kubiak took the spill.
Probably should have been a penalty. Probably should have been a penalty on Julian Johnson, but referees have been letting both these two teams have it.
It's collected at the near side, back down low. Here's the captain, Shaheen, in front there. Oh, he tried to get it across for Carlisle, and he couldn't find the one-timer redirection. CMU desperately trying to get out of their own zone as they do. The tired bodies out on the ice. They'll get fresh groups as a blue line chance here from Kubiak sends well wide, and it reams all the way around back out to the red line. A dump in once again there for McClellan. Collected up by Austin Ritter. He'll tag up with his D partner, Christopher Martin. Martin gains the red line, dumps this one hard off the round top glass. Skates all the way now for Jay Nadu, who's trying to fight off a Saginaw defender, Daniel Hudson. And he'll get it over to Kyle Kubiak, who'll collect it back up the assistant captain, Will. Dumps this one in, a little back and forth. Once again, 14:45 to play. Devin Sarah, Reagan Cleaves for the call from Martin Ice Arena. Number 15, Saginaw Valley State at Central Michigan. And right now, the number 15 team of the nation showing their prowess, up 3-2 in this hockey game. Coming off a weekend split against Florida Gulf Coast 2 weeks ago. CMU coming off the weekend sweep over University of Michigan Flint after they dropped 4 straight previously. Isaac Gibbs off of his own end board, tried to get it up to his forward, Andrew Saraki, who has a goal tonight. He'll clear the zone. Isaac Gibbs chases in after. Staved off the pressure there was McLean. Got it up the wing there to Hunter Windy, and Windy had to send it back. And Connor Morgan, the freshman, pressuring well, leads all rookies in scoring so far this season. Saginaw over the blue line, 1-on-2 here. Moving up with it is Brendan Dickinson, had the first goal of the night for Saginaw late in that first period. He'll turn wide with it, defended well by Camara. Knocks him off the puck, he'll regain it in his own end zone. Trapezoid Connor Morgan to pick it up. He'll send this one off a long saucer attempt. That's going to go all the way back down the other end. No icing as Andrew Porzonik with the speed to get back.
Great job there by Andrew Porzonik to race after that puck and negate the icing.
Dickinson through center. Missed a pass to Barlas, too far for his tape. Charlie Hayes picks it up. Backhand attempt, clearing, no coming. Saginaw keeps the zone. Camara in his own end. Pressured well. Charlie Hayes tags up with him. Hayes over the wing to Morgan. A long pass that went up the shaft of his stick allows Saginaw for a shot attempt that's blocked in front. Still getting the zone is the Cardinals as they continue the pressure without a shot attempt on Lauren Jones in the last 2 minutes.
Been a long time without a stoppage here. Fast moving start of this third period.
Nathan Bottles after no whistle for the previous 3-4 minutes. Charlie Hayes, fresh bodies for Saginaw. Up the wing for Morgan. Off the end board. Ben Rychuk got up to Julian Johnson, dumped it after gaining the red line, and he'll send this one near side to Mihal after Rychuk pressured in, and he gets the whistle. So a key face-off coming up here for Central Michigan.
Fans, the men's D3 Chippewas will finish their weekend series tomorrow at 9 p.m. at Saginaw Bay Ice Arena as the Chippewas take on the SVSU Cardinals. In a rematch from tonight as they will wrap up the weekend series. 8:30 p.m. will be your broadcast time right here on CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey.
Fight forward to the far side corner. Austin Ritter keeps the zone, dumps it into Johnson, misstepped on it, allows Kubiak to pick it up, pressured by Keelan Baker, the captain, off the end board, near half-wall glass. Christopher Martin backhands this one in to center. Rychuk couldn't handle the pass, had to turn back for it. Kept in by Julian Johnson, now out. It's at the red line. Baker flips this one back in. Losing an edge was Myers. Connor Myers, the freshman. That one's going to be called for the whistle. 12:05 left to go in the third.
Yeah, offsides there. Ben Rychuk just too much speed coming into the zone. Couldn't. He tried to keep it in at the line, but it ended up coming out, and he brought it back in off the hand. And so there'll be a draw to the near side. 12:05 to go in the third.
Carlisle won it, and really Saginaw has won the faceoff draws at center and in their own zone. And for CMU right now, struggling to find that faceoff woes that they've so handily struggled with the first 12 games of this season. As a near side shot attempt. Oh, Jones got the whistle after he didn't possess the puck, and the fans of Saginaw's side are not happy about that. The arm's up for the referee because the net came off its moorings. We know at Martin Ice Arena, the nets tend to come off their shafts.
Oh, yeah, they do.
A lot of times very gingerly.
Not only in high school games, but also in men's league games.
And you would know, sir. How many arguments have you had for that?
I haven't had a ton of arguments. It's just a lot of stoppage of play when the net comes off its mooring, and a lot of times the referee, you'll try to keep the play going if you can. If the play's going the other way, you try to fix the net before it comes back, but in that instance it wasn't really possible.
Oh, great feed from Isaac Gibbs up to Jay Native. It was cut off there by the streaking forward Hunter Windy. And yeah, Reagan, you mentioned a little bit of weird, nuances here at Martin Ice Arena. We talk about sometimes some gaps in the ice, some low nettings here in the awnings of the roof, and there the net postings just sometimes comes with early whistles. And now moving up over the blue line, quickly it is Cameron Barlas. Barlas had an assist earlier tonight, looking for more points. He streaks over center. 10:57 to play in the third. Centering feed there for Logan O'Flanagan. Couldn't find him on the tape. And now CMU gets a chance to possess finally for the first time in the last minute or so. Camara, saucer through center. Missed on McClellan. Gibbs dumps it in. Go off back to his own red line. Will go off the ice for a change. Nathan Bottles pressures in, along with Connor Morgan. Up the glass to Barlas. Sends it in deep. Off to the end board. Camara races in once again for it, defending in his own zone. Up the wing to Morgan. Knocked off the puck. Gets it up top for McClellan. Allows it to go to the slot. No shot attempt. Ben Rychuk gains the blue line. Back out to center. Cross ice feed for Connor Morgan. He'll gain it. A little 3-on-2 develop. They score! Connor Morgan! Bar down from the right circle. This was not an F3.
What a shot by Connor Morgan from the top of the right circle, and that just beat Mihal cleanly over the blocker, and an innocent-looking play from Central Michigan. Good job by Ben Rychuk to get the rush back the other way, picking up the loose puck in the defensive end slot, and he was able to start the rush and the pass across to Connor Morgan. He enters the zone, fires, and we are tied. 9:44. They're 9:46 gone here in period 3.
What a wrister from the freshman from Waterford, Michigan. 6 goals on the year. Now the 5th leading scorer, jumping Keelan Baker for the top 6 forward scoring group. Big collision in front of the Saginaw bench between Andrew Siraki and Hunter Windy. And that one's going to cause a stir as both will go off for that incoincidental collision. Or actually, rather, it's going to be Hunter Windy going off for that. Boy, he stepped into Siraki and really got a whale on that one. And now, with 10:07 to play, Windy will go to the box. CMU to the power play.
Central Michigan is 0 for 3 on the night, trying to capitalize on this opportunity and on the momentum, scoring just 7 seconds ago.
After this period, looked like it was all Saginaw in the late stage of that second. CMU gets a resurgence after Connor Morgan's 6th tally of the year. Central going to work on the power play. Isaac Gibbs up top to the wing for Sam Camara. He'll look gingerly with it. Takes a shot on net. That one went off the far side and part of the post netting. And that one streaks up top to the corner where it goes back to Isaac Gibbs. Connor Morgan couldn't handle the initial feed, had to go back to Gibbs. Sends one on net, redirected, it's still loose, and Rychuk couldn't find it. Porzanic trying to work it and whack away at it.
Great play by Russell at the side of the net to knock away Porzanic's shot attempt.
Camara, right wing circle, loose in front. Ben Rychuk trying to stuff it for his second and can't get the tally. 1:15 to go. CMU on the pressure with 1:12 left in their power play after Connor Morgan's wrister from the top of the right circle. Sam Camara works with it now. Looks, waits for a feed. Connor Morgan wants it, won't get it. Isaac Gibbs sends one on net for Mihal, and he finds that in the chest protector after Ben Rychuk, who's been so notably a pest in front of the net, gets one for the whistle, and they'll get another face-off.
Ben Rychuk's middle name might as well be Annoyance, at least when he's on the ice. He is getting in the face of Mihal out in front. He's drawing the attention of Kubiak and the rest of the Saginaw Valley State defensemen out in front. He is being a menace to society out in front and creating opportunities for Central Michigan.
The pair of 71s will dig in. That one won by O'Flanagan, and boy, that was dangerous. It came to the near side for Mihal.
Good job by Keelan Baker to work in there and force Mihal to hold on to the puck. 56 seconds to go in the power play.
In a tie hockey game now. Look, this one, as we mentioned, was kind of all Saginaw's game for that second period. But CMU, with their resurgence in the third after some transition play and a couple of miscues, gets the chance with Connor Morgan scoring. Here's Nathan Bottles across for Jay Nadeau. Charlie Hayes back up top to the left circle. Over to Christopher Martin. He'll wait with it. Defended well there by O'Flanagan. Hayes sends one on net. They score! They score! Charlie Hayes!
That took a deflection out in front, and you know what, Devin? That play starts from the faceoff. Keelan Baker from the left wing worked in. None of the Saginaw Valley State Cardinals got to the puck. They just let it go to the corner. They didn't go after it, and Keelan Baker swooped in, picked up that puck, moved it to the right point, and 10 seconds later, Charlie Hayes with a shot from the left point. It gets deflected out in front, and Central Michigan leads this game 4-3.
When in doubt, send it in. Crashing, creating chaos, deflections, off bodies. It doesn't matter how it happens. CMU now back on top after they opened the scoring from Andrew Siraki for the first time since the early first period. Finds themselves in the lead. Nathan Bottles quickly in transition. Still on the power play, near side shot. Actually, I want to correct myself. Still on the clock. It shows 20 seconds, but this one's back to 5-on-5 strength. Now, at the near side, that one officially now from Charlie Hayes. Back after he saw a deflection shot that went in, puts CMU back up 4-3. And Reagan, for a while, we were looking at this one. Saginaw was just waiting for another miscue to capitalize. Well, that time, Central Michigan takes a chance on the net, and chaos happens. They find themselves back with it. Long stretch pass for Isaac Gibbs. Too far for him as it went off his tape. Sends one in front for Andrew Siraki, who almost had a beautiful one-timer. Boy, does CMU look hot right now.
And you know what? That may not have been an intended stretch stretch pass to Isaac Gibbs, but a great job by him to negate that icing and then get a shot on. Oh, you're going to call a penalty on that.
Look out.
It fell onto the
Andrew
boards.
Siraki after Saginaw player lost an edge, number 19, Garrett Leeser. And the referees are going to gather for that one, and they might send Siraki to the box for that.
They are going to send Siraki to the box, and I don't know about that. It looked like Lesser had kind of just lost an edge going into the board. Siraki really didn't touch him, but they're going to send him off. And I'm wondering if they're going to put, the referee's discussing this. This may be a candidate for a 5-minute major.
Yep, same situation that we saw earlier where Nathan Bottles took down Kearon Carlisle in front of the Saginaw bench. That one caused a 5-minute, and that led to a Saginaw goal thereafter. And you got to wonder on that bench, just look, it looked like from our angle, Garrett Leeser, and speculation, lost an edge. But, I mean, the referee's seeing that one, seeing a check up high into the boards in the corner, kind of a sharp angle.
Looks
Give
like
the
it's
whistle.
Looks like it's just going to be 2 minutes.
So 2-minute minor assessed to Siraki unofficially for the boarding call. It's going to bring Saginaw back on the power play. Their 6th of the night, Reagan. And they've had a lot of chances to capitalize on it. They've taken a lot of shots on net on Lauren Jones throughout the night on power play chances, and they're one of the best at it. CME, one of the best penalty kill teams, will have to dig in to hold their lead. Kyle Kubiak sends one on net. They score! Kyle Kubiak from the point nods this one up at 4.
That's another chaos goal there for Saginaw Valley State. A shot through traffic, 4 seconds into the power play, and Saginaw Valley State ties this game up. 7:32 to go in period 3.
Kyle Kubiak unofficially nodding his 2nd point of the night. The senior from Frankenmuth, Michigan, with his 4th of the year. Played in the USPHL premiere for the Rum River Mallards with teammate Garrett Sawyer. Had 4+ years experience playing AAA hockey, and man, he has been all over as that assistant captain for them at the blue line, and finally gets rewarded for it. So Saginaw Valley, with a power play goal, nods this one up at 4 after Connor Morgan gave Central Michigan the lead. Isaac Gibbs now up the wing. Tied the hockey game up, and then it was Charlie Hayes with a deflection in front getting the goal. So this one, for a little bit of short scoring here, the last 4.5 minutes, Reagan, after it was pretty much stalemated the first 10 minutes. Isaac Gibbs made a nice move onto the net and couldn't redirect past one defender, and lots of noise going out on the ice. That Saginaw bench fired up.
And I don't know what the Cardinals are mad about. Carlisle looked like he was going to go charging after Isaac Gibbs, who was just trying to poke away at a loose puck at the side of the net. And he as Isaac Gibbs circled the net, Carlisle looked like a bull going after a piece of red cloth. I don't know what he was so fired up about.
Devin Sarah, Reagan Cleaves on the call from Martin Ice Arena. Saginaw Valley State ranked 15th in the nation, coming off a weekend split against Florida Gulf Coast 2 weeks ago. That shot saved by Mihal from the point. Coming off that weekend split, CMU after the sweep of U of M Flint with some momentum. And these two teams that don't like each other are a game to watch this week. We knew it was going to be close. We knew it was going to be a dogfight, and it's turned into that here in the 3rd period after a string of goals. 1, 2, count them 3 from both sides to put us up 4-4. Here's a breakout chance for O'Flanagan. Moving in on net. Deeks, he scores! Logan O'Flanagan, what a move. Puts Saginaw Valley State back on top.
That's 2 goals for Saginaw Valley State in quick succession, and that just shows the speed of O'Flanagan getting past the defense at neutral ice, and he was in all alone, and Lauren Jones bit the move at the crease, and O'Flanagan went to the right, and 2 goals in a matter of a minute.
O'Flanagan picks up his 2nd point of the night unofficially as well. 11 goals on the year. The freshman from Port Huron, the leading scorer, has done it all through them through this early part of the season. And right now connecting with the speed. He missed on a one-timer chance earlier on the power play, and that one finally picking up his tally on the night. We knew it was going to come at some point. CMU trying to contain it the best they could all night. It's O'Flanagan with a breakaway goal. Put him back up. Now, CMU has to fight back for it after they regained the lead. They were down 2-3. Connor Morgan scored a goal, and Charlie Hayes got a deflection in front. Saginaw Valley State with the previous 2 goals after that from Kubiak And now O'Flanagan. And now they get once again a breakaway chance here. Stepping to the fence is Dickinson. Good play by Charlie Hayes to get back, but he can't clear the zone. O'Flanagan backhands one back in deep. Sam Kamara gets taken down on the ice. No call. The CMU bench is fired up. They want one, but Ben Rychuk will move it in alone for an easy glove stop for Mihal. And I don't blame them, as Sam Kamara was down hard in his own zone at the right circle. And Reagan, it's really turning into that kind of game. Both sides fired up, not happy with the other opposition. And this is an important faceoff draw for a CMU team that has struggled to win faceoffs in the attacking zone, except middle part of that second period.
And if you're Central Michigan, you got to keep your cool. You're down by one. You've still got time to go. 5:47 to go here in period 3. They've got an opportunity as Connor Morgan wins it cleanly, but nobody else.
Draw. He was tapping his stick down, but he put too much heat on it as CMU tried to go back to their own zone, and they had to clear it all the way. Here we go. Andrew Porzonic up the way with Nathan Bottles. 3-on-2 developed. Set one just wide on the blocker side, and that one never got to the net.
Good job by Kiel with the left point to keep that puck in. Pinching down.
Kubiak pinching in on Porzonic. Got that puck away as he had to squirt it back all the way to Jones. Streaking in there as Tyler Jacob Martin took a whack at it, and no call from that one as well.
Dude hits.
That's going to frustrate even more.
Dude hits Lauren Jones right in the mask, and there's no call for. Come on.
Line judges see it clean. 5-4 the lead for Saginaw Valley State after O'Flanagan's most recent tally on a breakaway. Saginaw to dig in on the draw against Jay Nadu. Here is Garrett Leeser. Face-off won by Leeser and Saginaw. Back up top to the point. Shot on net, blocked in front. Here's Andrew Siraki. Had the first goal for Central Michigan in this hockey game. Can't keep the red zone after Leeser gained the puck back. Here's Isaac Gibbs, tape-to-tape passing through center. The sophomore sends one on net for Mihal, and a nice chest protector stop to negate that one. 5 minutes left to go in this hockey game. Stay tuned with us, folks. We'll have the post-game show presented by CMHIceHockey.com, recapping all things during this first game, and we'll get you ready for the second one tomorrow night at 9 p.m., the puck drop time from Saginaw Bay Ice Arena right here on CCHN for Game 2 of this weekend series between the number 15 Cardinals and your Central Michigan Chippewas. Charlie Hayes took a shot from the point. Why not? Had to go earlier from there, but it was blocked in front. Jay Nadu sends one in deep. Isaac Gibbs pitches down on the forward. Hunter Windy will get it up to the wing. At center, they fight for it. Andrew Siraki wins that battle. Jay Nadu gained the red line, sent it in deep. Off the end boards, it flipped. Mihal kept it in play for his forward. And Saginaw tries to clear out the zone. Charlie Hayes kept it in. It's rebound. It's loose in front. Siraki on the back. Chance on the rebound. Oh my, Mihal had to get across crease for that one. He did so and got the stop after Siraki tried to bang away at it.
That's great vision by Mihal out in front to be able to keep track of that loose puck and glove it down. And Central Michigan having the opportunities coming their way. Connor Morgan, another opportunity to win this faceoff here, and he does. Connor Morgan's been a stalwart in the face-off circle for CMU.
Depending on your perspective, CMU has dropped 4 of the last 6. They need some right here to keep their hopes alive against a good Saginaw team. Look out, 2-on-1 development. Flanagan, he's got Dickinson up the way. In front for Flanagan, shoots! Nice save by Lauren Jones. He got the chest protector down, and Flanagan held the nice feed in front from Dickinson, kept out of the net. Another try in front, trying for Flanagan to get it to the slot area, and it's negated off the skate of a CMU defender. Trying to poke check in is Nathan Bottles. He succeeds, and Saginaw has to go back out to center. Dumped in. Andrew Porzonic had a short-handed goal earlier tonight. 1-on-5, skates wide, gets no help at the blue line, and Julian Johnson can't keep it in, and that one's going to be prematurely from the whistle as Porzonic couldn't touch up on it, and they got fresh bodies out on the ice, but Porzonic with an individual effort. 3:35 to go in this game. Saginaw Valley and Central Michigan in a 5-4 nod.
You know what, if I'm Andrew Porzonic there, instead of trying to pass the puck up the wing, I'm just going to I would have pinned that puck up against the boards. Get your team a chance to come on and then eventually maybe throw it out in front. Icing going to be waved off here. 3:16 to go in period 3.
Julian Johnson lost an edge, went hard into the end boards. Good to see him get up. That one's redirected off of Keelan Baker's blade and flipped up into the chest protector of Mihal. Again, getting the whistle. 3:10 to play. Man, has the action ramped up the last 7.5.
What a deflection out in front by Keelan Baker. He took the feed from the right half wall and directed it into the paraphernalia of Mehall. 3:10 to go, period 3. 5-4. Saginaw Valley State leads this one.
They win the face-off draw, but it's none touched. That comes all the way back. Charlie Hayes to gain it. So they got another whistle draw, and right here, Reagan, they've got the personnel, Isaac Gibbs, Jay Nadeau, Andrew Siraki working with it. And that freshman, they haven't tagged up too much this year, Siraki and Nadeau, but they are such good passers. They have such a speed ability, and Nadeau wins that draw front. It's loose in front. They score! Score! Andrew Siraki!
What a goal! Rebounding it out in front, and Central Michigan has tied this game here.
Andrew Siraki picks up Isaac Gibbs, loose change, ties this one up at 5. How about the freshman from Northville?
Oh, no.
And no, they're going to talk about it at center.
What are they talking about
They're
here?
going to look at something. It might have been something to do with being in the crease area. Siraki whacked away at the stick after it looked like Russell was coming in to defend, and they're going to get back out in center.
Okay.
This goal should stand officially or unofficially at the 17:01 mark, and for the freshman picking up now his third tally of the year, and the first time he scored 2 goals in a hockey game since his time back at Northville High School. We talked about him earlier. He had 2 assists in that game 1 against Notre Dame. Really ineffective in that 11-4 round, but in a crucial moment like this, out on the ice with Jay Nadeau, Isaac Gibbs, and they are still talking about this at the scoring table.
They were leading Isaac Gibbs. They're putting Isaac Gibbs in the penalty box? What for?
Very
Is the goal
confusing
gonna
times.
stand?
We'll see the official timing right here. Isaac Gibbs going over the bench, and Austin Whaley's just as confused as we are, folks, about this penalty. Isaac Gibbs to the box as the referees gather. Aaron Shaheen over there, the captain. Christopher Martin, the assistant captain, to talk about it. We'll get the official ruling right here at center.
Okay. So it looks like the goal is going to stand as they're going to have the puck drop back at neutral ice. But I want to know what my guess, Devin, is that Isaac Gibbs picked up an unsportsmanlike penalty. But that's a key mistake for Central Michigan. You got to keep in it. Yes, you score a big goal, but you can't put yourself back in the penalty kill like this. Saginaw Valley State scored 2 power play goals in a number of opportunities here
Saginaw
tonight.
is 2 for 6 on the night on the power play. The last one coming from Kyle Kubiak as part of that third period surge that tied the hockey game up. O'Flanagan to the wing circle. Power play opportunity with 2:42 to play after Andrew Siraki just knotted this game up at 5. Lauren Jones, the goaltender junior from Fenton, Michigan, will have to come up big right here. Flanagan over the wing to Kubiak. Or rather, that's Carlisle moving in with it to the wing. He's cut off the edge, kept to the outside. Back up top to Kubiak. Over now to O'Flanagan. In front for Dickinson. Backhand chance and a glove save into the chest protector of Lauren Jones. Composed. 1:21 left in the Saginaw power play.
This is one of the biggest penalty kills of the night for Central Michigan. They had a really big one early when Siraki went off at 12:31. But Saginaw Valley State scored 4 seconds into that one to give themselves the lead. But here we go. 1:21 to go on that penalty kill. Tied at 5. 2:19 to go.
Jay Nadeau and Kieran Carlisle to dig in. Carlisle got it back to the blue line. Miscue by Dickinson as he tried to leave it there for Kubiak, and it forces them to go back out to the red line to reset the play. Jay Nadeau pressuring hard as Nathan Bottles collects him up. Now here comes through center quickly. Now is Carlisle up there the wing to Tyler Russell, the grad student. Russell will turn wide with it with 4 goals on the year. Trying not a tally here on the power play. 55 seconds to go in that total. 1:50 left in the hockey game. Centering feed, one-timer for Kubiak. It goes over the chest protector off the pad of Lauren Jones and stays in play. We're going to get a whistle now on the bench
my goodness.
for CMU.
They're going to give a bench minor penalty to Central Michigan. Oh my
And that's
goodness.
Tyler Martin walking over there, the transfer from Oakland University. And that will put Saginaw Valley State prematurely on another power play. 5-on-3.
And you know what, Devin? It's going to be a 5-on-3. And it was Austin Whaley again. He's gotten disqualified from a contest before. He just hurt his team. he has got to be able to control himself on that bench, and it's been something he's had trouble doing in his first year as an assistant coach.
So the next 45 seconds, it'll be 5-on-3 after Isaac Gibbs' penalty for the presumed unsportsmanlike. And now Austin Whaley, the assistant coach, after talking to some referees, some words were said, causes a 5-on-3. Saginaw in a prime position with 1:28 to go in this hockey game. Works with it. Carlisle up the wing. He'll get it back. Down low for O'Flanagan. Near side deflection by Charlie Hayes to keep it out to the near side.
23 seconds to go on the 5-on-3.
Carlisle at the top of the circle. Has to turn wide with it. CMU pressuring. That one went off a body in front and up into the netting for the stop. 14 seconds left. And that was a good deflection by Charlie Hayes to keep him to the outside. But right now for Saginaw, they're going to have a lot to work with. And this, if you're going to talk about face-off draws, Reagan, this one has to be won by the Chips.
This is absolutely key for Central Michigan right now. Connor Morgan to dig in. He can't win it. Pardon me, Nathan Bottles.
Carlisle at the top of the slot. Kept to the outside by Bottles. Down low, Siraki. O'Flanagan had the most recent dally. Got it back over there. Now, over to Carlisle. Down low for Dickinson. Out of the box comes Isaac Gibbs. 5-on-4. That one turned wide. It's still loose in front. 52 seconds to play. Isaac Gibbs gains possession at the corner. Checked up the ball hard. Across ice feet to the slot. In front there. It's still loose. And now behind the end board. Isaac Gibbs, after that shot was turned wide. 39 seconds, and we're going to get a whistle.
Central Michigan has drawn a penalty behind that. I think Isaac Gibbs took a hit up high, if I'm reading the number correct. And going to the box, it's going to be number 25, Carlisle. So CMU is going to go and make it a 4-on-4 as we head with 39 seconds to go.
What a string of events. First, the 5-on-4 after the score by Andrew Siraki for his second of the night. Isaac Gibbs goes to the box. They get a 5-on-4, and then a bench minor is assessed to Austin Whaley, presumably. Gives them the 5-on-3. They'll have an opportunity for 45. CMU kills it off. Isaac Gibbs comes out of the box.
5-minute major.
Kill it, and it's a 5-minute major to Keon Carlisle, who that could transition over into overtime, Reagan, if it gets to that point. 40 seconds left to go.
Don't say that, Devin.
Porzonic to dig in with this one. Back up top to the point for Christopher Martin. CMU with a chance in front. Connor Morgan whacks away at it. Defended well by McClellan. 30 to play. 45 left.
Lots of open ice here. Lots of open ice here for a speedy Saginaw Valley State team.
Here comes Andrew Porzonic. Kyle Kubiak with the puck. Try the wraparound chance. Knocked off by Porzonic. 17 to play. Central trying to defend. They score! Saginaw! Matt McClellan from the left circle with 14 seconds to play. Gives them the lead.
A 4-on-4 goal here with 14.5 seconds to go. The dagger in the heart to Central Michigan fans, and over on the bench, the coaching staff holding their head. Austin Whaley, his penalty still up on the board. A 4-on-4 goal with lots of open ice. That penalty comes back to bite Central Michigan.
The senior from Grand Blanc, Michigan, nods his first goal of the season at the most pristine time. Saginaw Valley State back in the lead 6-5 with 12 seconds to play, and it comes all the way back to CMU zone. One last resurgent stretch pass attempted there from Christopher Martin, but it's not going to work. So CMU, after they had a resurgence late in that third period, falls short. Saginaw Valley scores with 14 seconds left, and McClellan and Saginaw will walk out of Martin Ice Arena with the first win of this weekend series. Stay tuned, folks. Myself and Reagan Cleves will have the postgame show presented by SeaMichIceHockey.com after this one. Saginaw Valley 6, Central Michigan 5. Stay with us. You're watching Central Michigan Hockey on CCHN. Welcome to the Postgame Show presented by cmichicehockey.com. From Martin Ice Arena, the final, Saginaw Valley 6, Central Michigan 5. After 6 goals in that third period from both squads, put them even at a 5-5 tally with 14 seconds left in the hockey game. It's Matt McClellan scoring his first goal of the year at an opportune time with the game winner, which leads now to CMU, their 5th loss in their last 7 games. And for Saginaw, they continue their hot resurgence after good weekends against Hope, Florida Gulf Coast, now the first game of this weekend series. And Reagan, this third period had pretty much everything you could expect from a rivalry. The tensions heated up. There was some penalties. There was lots of big hits. There was boardings. And ultimately, in the end, it's a bad, unsportsmanlike penalty that puts CMU down, shorthanded, leads to a 4-on-4, and the rest is history.
Yeah, exactly. And not to give credit to McClellan, who scored the game-winning goal. It was a good shot from the left wing circle, beat Lauren Jones cleanly, but that bench minor penalty we presume on Austin Whaley is a culmination of a bunch of tough mental mistakes for Central Michigan. We had a couple of passes that could have kept possession for Central Michigan. You think the Julian Johnson pass down in the corner back in the second period. The Andrew Porzondik, Sam Kamara, just a bunch of different mental mistakes that Central Michigan made, and in the end, it's a bad unsportsmanlike conduct that gets them, and it is, and that's how the game of hockey ends.
As I mentioned, 6th goal in that third period. It was initially Andrew Porzondik scoring shorthanded, and then Connor Morgan tied up the hockey game at 3. CMU gained their first lead of the night after Charlie Hayes had a shot deflection in front. They would go up 4-3. Shortly after their Saginaw Valley would resurge back after Kyle Kubiak scored, and then O'Flanagan on a breakaway attempt. And then as we saw, tying up the hockey game late there for CMU, Andrew Siraki, phenomenal night. We're going to talk about him a little bit here coming up, but the freshman getting 3 goals on the year, 2 tonight, and really an effort where he was all over on the penalty kill. He was great, dominating offensively, working hard down low, and for CMU, it was a gritty effort. They didn't do it pretty. They scored a lot of dirty goals down low, banging away at Mihal, but in the end, they fall short as Saginaw walks out of here with the W after scoring with 15 seconds left. Our players to watch tonight were on CMU side. Isaac Gibbs did not officially register a point tonight. The goaltender Lauren Jones with the 6-5 loss now puts him at 4-4 on the year for a record. On Saginaw Valley's side, Logan O'Flanagan, the leading scorer for them, had a goal and an assist tonight, was all over, much less the best player on the ice, especially for his team, and made everything happen even when he wasn't scoring. And then Peter Mihal, the other goaltender, gets the win officially here tonight, his 6th of the year.
Yeah, Mihal played well tonight, making up for some defensive mishaps on behalf of Saginaw Valley State. But it was really a stalwart in net here tonight for the Cardinals. But for Devin, for CMU and Saginaw Valley State, this, I don't want to downplay how good of a game this was for Central Michigan. They kept their heads up. They stayed in it. Even when, coming into today, they were 0-2-1 coming into the third period when trailing. So tonight was a very good game for CMU to get back on the right foot against a very good Saginaw Valley State team. You don't beat Hope if you're not good.
Oh, no kidding.
But for CMU, you can't downplay the fact that this was a very good. It may have been sloppy, it may have been mistakes, but they stayed in it until the bitter end. And unfortunately, Devin, you jinxed it with about 20 seconds left.
I just had to make sure the broadcaster jinx is live and well, folks. Yeah.
Sorry,
I remember
I had to witness
clearly
that experiment live.
Hey, look, we've had a lot of moments on CCHN where, we've talked about, hey, can we see something crazy? I've still, without an overtime game to call in a long time, dating back to last year. We stuck around for those 6 ties last year. I remember it very well and dear. So quite the end for that one. And as you mentioned, well and alive, broadcaster's jinx. Sorry, everybody. Taking a look at our keys.
Hey, at least he apologized.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I have to the loyal Chippewa faithful. Keys to the game tonight, Reagan, we had faceoffs must break out, and they were good in their own zone for the most part. They kept pucks from being mostly kept out of Saginaw's hands, especially on the power play. But it wasn't enough. CMU, without some key draws, they were much better in that second period. Jay Nadeau had a good couple wins. Connor Morgan looked a lot more sharp. It just didn't collect them for the win.
I don't think the face-offs were as much of a problem as they were for Central Michigan tonight as they have been. They were competitive in the face-off circle. It wasn't like it was 70-30 or 80-20 like it has been throughout the first part of this season. Tonight it was a really, really good showing in the face-off circle for Central Michigan. They were able to be competitive in the face-off circle. Connor Morgan doing a ton of work in the face-off circle. We mentioned one face-off draw. We won that thing straight back into the defensive end because nobody was up at the point to cover him. He split the defenseman. Good face-off wins for Connor Morgan, Jay Nadeau. They're all getting back on the right track.
And the freshman had a great night with a fantastic goal, leading all rookies in scoring categories. Our second key to the game was limit the mistakes, and boy, were there a lot on CMU's side. Notably, as we mentioned, not just in their own zone, but in the neutral zone, obviously even off the ice, getting involved in it and resulting in changing the outcome of the game. And now for this one, looking past, does CMU look at this one as it got away because of the mistakes, or was it Saginaw Valley's play just being there at the end?
I think it's a combination of both. Saginaw Valley State played a very good game tonight. They are a complete hockey team, no doubt about it. Well coached by Brendan Ryan. They're both their head coach and their general manager. He has done a phenomenal job not only with this club, but not only on the on-ice version of this club, but also off the ice, building the behind-the-scenes team and building their social media. He has been a phenomenal influence on this team, and it shows in the fact that they play a complete 60-minute game and a complete forward and defensive battle.
Our final key tonight was play a full 60 minutes, and I will say it seemed like they played a 59-45 game, and I say that by minutes and seconds. And look, for CMU, playing a full 60 was what they needed to do to keep this one close. Even when they were down 3-1, it seemed like they built momentum back at the most opportune times. Andrew Porzonik with a shorthanded goal. Connor Morgan gets them fired up. Then all of a sudden you get a weird goal off a body deflection. You get pucks scrambling around. You get key penalties. You get big hits. Everything in this game collected to come down to the final minutes, and in the end, it was Saginaw Valley State collecting the final tally. Our 3 stars of the game tonight. Third star goes to Kyle Kubiak with a goal and 3 assists. Second star, Andrew Siraki with 2 goals tonight. An impressive effort from the freshman for Northville. And our number 1 star of the game, Matt McClellan, with his first goal of the season, and he gets the game winner tonight for his Cardinals.
Yeah, all 3 players play a phenomenal night tonight. Again, Kubiak getting those 3 assists key in distributing that puck. He has been a very good player the last couple of years for Saginaw Valley State. I remember last season Kubiak was a key player in that series, and then Siraki getting those 2 goals, keeping Central Michigan in it, battling, getting those gritty goals out in front, and it was a great shot by McClellan to end it.
Siraki earned the nickname Selkit, the boys call him tonight. I'm going to be giving him that after he went forehand, backhand, that first goal he scored tonight. What a beauty it was. And for a momentum builder for a player that is coming into his own as a freshman two-way forward that has played well defensively, filling in for the injured Braden Key earlier this year. And then tonight, scoring 2 goals. Looking ahead now, Central Michigan will travel to Saginaw Bay Ice Arena tomorrow night to take on these Cardinals.
Devin.
Or is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
Good
it's
morning,
tomorrow.
everybody.
Morning, folks. As you all so nonchalantly say, along with phenomenal. Point is, Saginaw will take on Central at Saginaw Bay tomorrow, 8:35 p.m. broadcast, 9 p.m. puck drop. You can catch that right here on CCHN as Reagan Cleaves has the call for that one, myself on the color. And for our entire broadcast team that really stuck it out for the long, late night tonight, thanks to our staff here, Matt Ryder running the sticks and the 1s and 2s and the camera tonight. Joe Lazier, our wonderful photographer, videographer, social media manager tonight, doing it all. And as always, thank you to the Central Michigan faithful and fans for watching our presentation of CCHN. One look at our out-of-town scoreboards before we get out of here. Hope College and MSU, 5-1 the final of that one. The Dutchmen rolling over the Spartans. A big upset burger alert here. Grand Valley State 13-1 over Adrian College. The Bulldogs, who were in action on home ice against Grand Valley, get routed, and man, that is a tough pill to swallow for an Adrian team that we saw last year bow out in the MCHC playoffs. Our final out-of-town scoreboard to look at is Oakland and Ferris State. Oakland University getting the upset over the Bulldogs, 6-3 the final, and Ferris State, surprise, coming off a 5-2 upset over Grand Valley State. finds themselves losing in this one and just continues your point, Reagan, of anybody can really beat anybody this year.
And, for Ferris State, they are a very confusing hockey
are
team
they?
this season. They lose 4-1 to CMU on opening night, proceed to, I believe, they came into that second CMU game, I believe, sitting at 2-8. They're now 3-10. They've had and then they beat Grand Valley State.
Not to mention losing just one goal to Notre Dame.
I mean, Ferris State has been an up-and-down program, and they'll be interesting to watch come playoff time.
Finally, for our thanks once again, our cameraman Matt Ryder, producer Reagan Cleves, and Matt, and myself, Devin Sarah. The Red Wings will be in action against the LA Kings. You can catch that game on Bally Sports Detroit as well as 97-1 The Ticket. Griffins against Toronto. Bob Kaiser and Lane Fergusi on Wood Radio. Reagan, I usually leave this segment for you, so give us an update on the Griffins if you get one.
I actually do not have a score on the Griffins.
Okay,
Joe,
we'll
do you have
pass
one?
that part. Oh,
pardon?
Late development here on the postgame show.
For the Griffins? Nice. Cross Hannes getting the overtime winner for
Wow,
Grand
wow,
Rapids
wow.
against a red-hot Toronto Marlies
they?
team that came in winning 6 straight against the Grand Rapids Griffins. They bounced back after a 3-5 road trip for 8 games. Good start to the weekend for Grand Rapids.
How about a good way to end the night here, Reagan? Get excited about his Grand Rapids Griffins, and Bob Kaiser, I'm sure, as always, and Larry fired up in the booth on Wood Radio. Finally, Spirit, we're at Sarnia Sting. I don't have a score update on that one, so we'll leave it as is, and that'll leave it as is for our broadcast here tonight. So as we mentioned, 8:35 p.m. broadcast time tomorrow, 9 p.m. puck drop from Saginaw Bay Ice Arena. Central Michigan looks to bounce back after giving up one late here to the Cardinals, and what will be a continuation of a great rivalry series and a hockey house game to watch. For our entire broadcast staff here at CCHN and the fine folks at home watching this broadcast, we thank you for watching this presentation of Central Michigan Hockey on CCHN. We'll be back tomorrow night. Devin Sarah, Reagan Cleves. This has been CMU Hockey on CCHN.